Greetings, comrades. Welcome to All Power to the People podcast on Grown Folks Talking, Express Yourself Internet Radio via the Huddle Team app. We meet every Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We discuss local, national, and global events that impact the material conditions of the people and provide viable solutions. We are here to find those tired of the way their lives are socially constructed. As Panthers, we use dialectic materialism. As Dr. Huey P. Newton stated, power is the ability to define phenomena and make it act in a desired manner. From combating the housing crisis to police patrols, we are the vanguard in place to serve our communities. The purpose of this program is to highlight contradictions in the electoral process, which Western culture calls politics. Politics is the struggle for resources. Participating in America's electoral process has only taken resources from the people and handed it to the oligarchs and the professional managerial class that serve them by maintaining the status quo through coercion. We know that power lies with the people, and it is our duty to organize and educate the community so that they can fight for their own liberation. So please, join us every Sunday at 12 p.m. You can join by downloading the Huddle Team app, join online, or call in. The app and joining online is free, but if you call in, standard messaging rates may apply. Links to the show will be provided in the caption. This is General Secretary Patience of the new Afrikan Black Panther Party, NAB-PP North. All power to the people.
I'll be having conversation with people, and they'll be like, so what do we do? What is our option? How do we change our material conditions? How do we change the reality around us? I mean, you can't do that. This is from our food program. I mean, so that's why I'm starting off like this, to show everybody like the things that you could do in the community. As Panthers, we come together in North to get this food to go out and give to the families that are starving. We all know, if we live in these communities, we know how hard times are. We are all going through it. We eat the same food too. We take the food in our home and we put them in our bellies. This is our during the school year, all year round. We don't have enough money to go build a school to be able to bring in all these children and stuff. We don't have all of that. But we can create an after-school program. And this is one of the ways we bring the kids in with the after-school program so they could come in for us to give them that knowledge, to teach them, and try to help guide them through this reality, through this world. Hey, you say they teach you about 9/11 in school?
Yeah.
What they teach you about 9/11? Why did the plane hit the buildings? You got to say it loud enough so I can hear you.
The Muslim airjacked the plane and then they crashed shit into the Twin Towers.
That's what they taught you, that the Muslims hijacked the plane?
They didn't talk.
That's okay. That's okay. Relax.
The plane crashed into the Twin Towers.
But why did they crash into the Twin Towers? They didn't. Anybody? Hey, what you were saying, Major?
I also know that they crashed into the woods.
Hold up. Let Major speak. What'd you say, Major?
My teacher told me that there was hijackers on a plane, and then when they crashed it, left the plane, and there was more hijackers on the other plane, and they crashed into that. That's what Towers again.
But why did they crash into the Twin Towers?
Because they wanted to go to New York.
So they crashed into the Twin Towers to go to New York. They died to go to New York.
They wanted to. The hijackers wanted to go to New York, but then they crashed into the Twin Towers.
Oh, they wanted to go land in New York, but they crashed in the Twin Towers. So anybody else got saying to add? Archie, you got saying to add?
I know.
What you want to add?
That the other planes got airjacked and then they crashed into different places.
That's it?
Yeah.
So nobody can tell me why the planes crashed? Why the planes did that? Nobody can tell me? But don't you think the school should tell you why?
Yes. Yeah.
So like, if the school not telling you why, what does that mean?
They keep it secret.
Wow.
It's gatekeeping.
Whoa, where you get gatekeeping from, bro?
I said gates.
But where you learn that at?
TikTok. It's
You say me? you
said
burnt.
TikTok.
You burnt out, yo. You burnt out. Nah, but the reason why they crashed into the into the Twin Towers is because the American government, America was going to their country, taking their natural resources, stealing their stuff, killing their people. So they got mad. They stole a plane and they came and crashed it on the World Trade Center to get back at America. That's why they did it.
So it wasn't 2 planes then?
No, it wasn't one plane. I think it was 2 or 3. Was it? I think it was one. Was no? I think there was one in DC and there was one in Philly or something like that.
So
That did.
Two inside the Twin
Yeah, huh?
So I basically got it right then.
There was
What
one
did-
inside Twin Towers, and then another one tried to crash into the place that Trump lives in.
The Trump Tower? There ain't no plane try to go to the Trump Tower. The White House?
The White House.
Did the plane try to go to the White House?
No, the Pentagon. I think that's
The plane, one went to the Pentagon. But
Something like that.
But these people be lying. The media be lying. The politicians be lying. So you never know what's true. But why they really did it, they said because America was going over to their countries and they were killing their people. They were taking their resources and they were putting military bases in their country. So that's why they did it. I mean, that's why they went over there and did it and stuff. They call that blowback. Like when you go to another country and you do stuff to them and then they come back over here and do something, like they call that blowback.
it's like get back.
Yeah, it's like get back.
They should have did more. So imagine another country.
You said they should have did more?
They should have nuked them.
Then we gonna die. If they nuke us, we gonna die. I don't wanna die.
What if we wasn't alive at that time?
But we're going to continue this later, y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all. We're going to continue later. This is our summer basketball camp. It's going on right now. Every day from 9 to 1. We have this basketball camp that that the kids come out. Yo, it's all about organizing and finding ways to bring people out, bring the children out to be able to organize them. I mean, when you doing these things to bring the children in, to bring the community in, yo, you got to be serious. You can't be playing around with this. Yo, like when the kids come here, at the end of the summer, they're stronger, they're faster, they're quicker, and they know more about the game, about the sport than they did before. You know, we watch their minds develop every day. While we're talking about Pantherism, what do we do? What are the solutions? Yo, there's solutions here. I mean, the solutions is organizing our own community, creating an economic base where we can be able to feed ourselves, take care of ourselves without having to bow down to somebody else, without having to beg somebody else for our humanity. Yo, I refuse to go beg anybody to give me humanity. I will take my humanity by force. I understand I am not free. We understand we are not free as Panthers. There's no doubt in our mind if we are free or not. And you cannot hold anybody that's under oppression, that's under neocolonialism, responsible for how their life turned out, because they control no institution. I mean, I often hear people say, like, the drug dealers, the worst thing in our community is drug dealers, because they're stupid. They're ignorant. They haven't educated themselves to understand the world around them. So they just open their mouth and regurgitate whatever they heard somebody else say. You're a fool. If you believe anything out here is your fault or our fault. Seriously. And I'm telling you, I work with the community all day and all night. And I know how ignorant the community can be. But I don't blame the people for the conditions they find themselves in. They have nothing to do with how anything is done materially in this world. They're just bystanders. The people that I hold accountable is those that know, the intellectuals. That's supposed to know better, but continue to usher our people into institutions of white supremacy, of imperialism, that will continue to exploit us. Tell our people to go vote. What are you voting for? I mean, who are you voting for? Who do they serve? They don't serve the people. They won't serve the people, or they won't survive in those institutions.
Get your phone. It's my song.
What's your son?
Yo, for playing, huh?
Get some from. Get some. Let me see. Hold it out, Bobby. Mira. Hold it out. Let me see. Yeah. Hold up. You got it? You like it? There we go. There we go.
Wait, take you.
You're welcome. What's your name?
My name is Panther.
What position you play?
Like this.
Oh, pitcher. You're the pitcher. You're a pitcher. Your children out here?
No. I'm
No.
just watching.
Oh, you just watching? You
Yeah.
just watching too?
I like
My name Afrika.
Africa.
Africa.
Like the country.
Yeah, the continent. Continent.
Like
Yeah, continent. Hold up.
happy.
Huh?
Happy.
Yeah. I'll come every year. I'll bring more stuff.
Because there are a lot of times
I'll come. I'll bring everything every year. Yeah, we just started. We've come in with the organization. The organization,
New African Black Panther
party. So the Black Panther Party. So look, no politician, no rich person will take care of us. The only people that are going to take care of us is us. If we understand, if we understand that all we need to do is take care of each other, we're going to be good. Yeah, so you notice how all the companies, all the stores is owned by the gringos, Canada, Switzerland. We need to own it. We need to own everything so soon. You need to own stuff so soon. You need to own Bailey's. You need to own Roomba. Yeah, we need to own all of that shit. Not nobody else. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But that's why I'm here. Everything we do is free. Everything is free. You don't pay. Yeah, you don't pay for nothing. I mean, this is my guy here. This is my guy, Subi. You know Subi? Yeah, this is my guy. He helped me out down here. I've been with this company for about 7 years, but it's been here since 1969. I'm the leader of the company. I'm the leader now of the organization. Yeah. So we come down. He's gonna be down here working down here in the organization for me. Yeah, he's gonna be here working here.
Also, do you visit Puerto Plata?
Yeah, I work for the plot everywhere. I go everywhere. I stayed in.
I'm from Puerto Plata. I'm from the shore to
So you want to help me do this in Puerto Plata? I'm about to cut off the camera and I'm about to take your number. We're going to do the same thing. You know, the person that run the baseball, he helping me too.
I live next to a baseball.
Man, what's your name, man? Tell them your name, man.
My name is Brian. I'm teacher of natural science.
Natural science?
Natural science.
Oh, my God. I'm hitting a home run everywhere I go, man. Bobby, mira. Good? You good? There we go. Biology? My God. Welcome to All Power to the People. Yo, every week I tell myself all I'm going to say is welcome to All Power to the People on Grown Folks Talk and Express Yourself. See, that sounds so much better. That sounds real direct. But I always start off with all power to the people. Then say welcome to all power to the people, like redundant. But all power to the people. Welcome to All Power to the People on Grown Folks Talk and Express Yourself. I'm your host, Chairman Africa. Last week I told the General Secretary to make sure she put in to put inside what would you call this? Our intro. To put into the intro as much stuff that we do doing like that we do, that our organization do. I mean, I told her to put it in there. And right here, you can see that's our comrade Jack in Plainfield, New Jersey. We're part of the Jersey Panthers. We're a New African Black Panther Party, and we're in Newark, New Jersey. When we came into the Panther organization, we came in under New African Black Panther Party. We had a little bit of shake-up. Everything got changed around with leadership. I mean, but we still maintained the name New African Black Panther Party. But we grew from there to the Panthers of New Jersey. And the comrade speaking right there, he's heading that's our council meeting, our monthly council meeting that we have. Not with City Hall, not with nothing. We're the council. We're the city council. We have these meetings ourselves as Panthers. And the people from the community come in and they tell us what they need help with, what they need help with, how we can help them, and we figure that out. So that's Jack talking to the community members on there. Like I said, I want to show what we do. This right here, the guy walking, he's our new comrade. He's in DR, in the Dominican Republic. This guy said what time? Give me a second, y'all. Somebody texting me. Now is the time. But this guy right here, his name is Shubi. He's leading. I don't know if Shubi here. Hey, do you see Shubi, General Secretary?
Let me check.
Yeah, he's leading our organization.
Yeah.
You don't see him?
No.
Yeah. All right. You say what?
I'm sorry. No, I do not see him yet.
Oh, all right. But he's leading our organization out in DR. And in front of him is Frank. Frank runs this whole baseball field with I saw like over 400 kids out there when I went out there. I mean, and I talked to them, and he's going to be bringing those kids into the fold of what we're doing. So we're going to be giving them political education classes as long as trying to put institutions in the community to serve the kids. Let me keep going. Because I'll be having conversation with people, and they'll be like, so what do we do? What is our option? How do we change our material condition? How do we change the reality around us? I mean, you can't do that. This is from our food program. I mean, so that's why I'm starting off like this to show everybody like the things that you could do in the community. As Panthers, we come together in North to get this food to go out and give to the families that are starving. We all know if we live in these communities, we know how hard times are. We are all going through it. We eat the same food too. We take the food in our home and we put them in our bellies. This is our during the school year, all year round. We don't have enough money to go build a school to be able to bring in all these children and stuff. We don't have all of that, but we can create an after-school program. And this is one of the ways we bring the kids in with the after-school program so they could come in for us to give them that knowledge, to teach them, and try to help guide them through this reality, through this world. What's next? This is our summer basketball camp. It's going on right now. Every day from 9 to 1. We have this basketball camp that that the kids come out. It's all about organizing and finding ways to bring people out, bring the children out to be able to organize them. I mean, this is
Consistency, man. That's the name of the game, bro. If you keep going every single...
See that? Let me bring it back. Look, this is how it starts. They stretch outside. They do a little jumping jacks. After they do the jumping jacks, then they hit the steps.
Consistency, man. That's the name of the game, bro.
See, after they do the jumping jack, they hit the steps. This is 20 flights, 20 floors. They run up 20 floors 2 times. That's what we started with. I think this week they might be moving up to 3, or maybe next week they're gonna move up to 3 times. But they go up and down them 20 flights, up and down 2 times. Then after that, we go straight to the pull-up bar. After that, we get to the pull-up bar. We do the pull-ups, the push-ups, the sit-ups, the dips. Then after that, we get to the basketball field where we do ball handling and shooting drills. I mean, when you're doing these things to bring the children in, to bring the community in, you got to be serious. You can't be playing around with this. Like when the kids come here, at the end of the summer, they're stronger, they're faster, they're quicker, and they know more about the game, about the sport than they did before. We watch their minds develop every day while we're talking about Pantherism. I didn't see the video in here in the car when we were talking about 9/11. Were you able to get that video?
No, I didn't get that video.
Yeah, I needed that video. I mean, that stuff like that annoyed me. Because like in the video, we was talking about 9/11. The children brought up 9/11. It's a 3-minute video. I was going to let the video play. And I wanted you to hear what they're teaching them in school about these things, about 9/11. The reason why we need to have this after-school program, why we need to have our own institutions in the community to be able to control what our children know, how they think, instead of continuously sending them into these institutions. All these public schools, every single school in America, all of them, 99.9999999, because as a sociologist, there are no absolutes. There are no absolutes, so I always got to live that possibility. But all the schools in America, 99.9999999%, all of them are here to basically control how we think, how our children think, and fit them for them to be workers. These schools are socialization factories. They don't teach our children how to attain power and hold on to power to serve us, to serve the people. They teach them how to go be workers in these institutions of imperialism, of white supremacy. I mean, that's what we're dealing with now. And if you asking, what do we do? What are the solutions? There's solutions here. I mean, the solutions is organizing our own community, creating an economic base where we can be able to feed ourselves, take care of ourselves without having to bow down to somebody else, without having to beg somebody else for our humanity. I refuse to go beg anybody to give me humanity. I will take my humanity by force. I understand I am not free. We understand we are not free as Panthers. There's no doubt in our mind if we are free or not. And you cannot hold anybody that's under oppression, that's under neocolonialism, responsible for how their life turned out, because they control no institution. I mean, I often hear people say, like, the drug dealers, the worst thing in our community, the drug dealers, because they're stupid. They're ignorant. They haven't educated themselves to understand the world around them. So they just open their mouth and regurgitate whatever they heard somebody else say. You're a fool if you believe anything out here is your fault or our fault. Seriously. And I'm telling you, I work with the community all day and all night, and I know how ignorant the community can be. But I don't blame the people for the conditions they find themselves in. They have nothing to do with how anything is done materially in this world. They're just bystanders. The people that I hold accountable is those that know, the intellectuals. That's supposed to know better, but continue to usher our people into institutions of white supremacy, of imperialism, that will continue to exploit us. Tell our people to go vote. What are you voting for? I mean, who are you voting for? Who do they serve? They don't serve the people. They won't serve the people, or they won't survive in those institutions. But we going over the Philadelphia Negro. I mean, because the first duty of a revolutionary is to be educated. And even somewhere along the book, even Du Bois said the same thing too about education, the importance of education. And we on chapter 3. We're going to listen to 15 minutes of chapter 3. It's 30 minutes altogether, this chapter, but I don't think we could do 30 minutes at one time. So we're going to break it down into 2. Next week we're going to do the other half. But the first half we're going to do today. And you're going to hear him. He's going to, right now in chapter 3, what Du Bois is doing is he's going back. He's going back over 100 years to explain how black people came to be in Philadelphia and the surrounding conditions around them, the interplay within the world around them, and how that affected the people that just came right out of slavery. So I'm about to go right to that right now. We're going to listen to that. We ain't even going to waste no time. I don't want to keep nobody here longer than we used to have to be. And after I'm done with this, because like we have to apply this to real life today. The General Secretary is going to go into some of the issues in the community of about housing and what's going on over there with housing. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. We're just merely pawns until we decide to take control and start to organize our communities and create institutions to serve the people. Other than that, we'll continue to be pawns. I'm about to put it on. Hey, yo, please try to listen. And there is even a caption on the bottom where you can see the words of what they're saying. I'm gonna stop it every here and then to make a little commentary. And if anybody hears something, you want to talk about it, you want to say something about it, you have something you want to point out, because it's a lot here. It's a lot he's talking about. Yo, to really do this justice, I will really have to go in and do research on the research that he has already done. And we don't have enough time to do that. I don't have enough time. We don't have the staff. But it's stuff in here that he's talking about that I want to go do research on. But here we go.
Chapter 3, The Negro in Philadelphia, 1638 to 1820. General Survey. Few states present better opportunities for the continuous study of the group of Negroes than Pennsylvania. The Negroes were brought here early, were held as slaves along with many white serfs. They became the subject of the protracted abolition controversy and were finally emancipated by gradual process. Although, for the most part, in a low and degraded condition, and thrown upon their own resources in competition with white labor, they were nevertheless so inspired by their new freedom and so guided by able leaders that for something like 40 years they made commendable progress. Meantime, however, the immigration of foreign laborers began. The new economic era of manufacturing was manifest in the land, and national movement for the abolition of slavery had its inception. The lack of skilled Negro laborers from the factories, the continuous stream of Southern fugitives and rural freedmen into the city, the intense race antipathy of the Irish and others, together with intensified prejudice of whites who did not approve of agitation against slavery, all this served to check the development of the Negro, to increase crime and pauperate them, and at one
Hell, you even heard them talking about immigration back then. This is like you talking about the 1600s. They talking about immigration and people coming in from different parts of the country to come in because all immigration is about capital, it's about working. People migrate all the time because they're looking for work. He's talking about the people coming, the newly freed slaves and the runaways. All these people coming. He's even talking about the Irish people that were here. I think he's gonna go ahead and he's gonna say it in a little bit, but white people came in as indentured servants. Like most people really don't understand the history and they don't understand how all of this came together. But white people, when they first brought white people here, they came in as indentured servants. They came here to work. Well, they were the first slaves. They kept dying off, so they had to go find new people. They tried the Indians, they tried everybody until they found the Negro. The Negro could handle that. The Negro could put up with anything, just like now. They put up with anything. They'd be on the police force. They'd be everywhere. They'd be in the military. They'd go bomb people all around the world. They could put up anything, psychologically and physically. They could put up with a lot. I mean, yeah, that's what the Negro do. But anyway, that's what they're talking about immigration back then. That people were coming in, and if like I said, like you have to go do even a study on what he's talking about, because you have to understand the classes. There's different classes of black folks and how they felt and how they saw the world at that time, which is not that much different from now. I mean, the upper class of black people has always been worthless. They've always been worthless to our people. I mean, they're really not different. But if you see how they look at the average black person at that time, it's no different from now, from today.
Period. Resulted in riot, violence, and bloodshed, which drove many Negroes from the city. Economic adjustment and enforcement of law finally allayed this excitement, and another period of material prosperity and advance among the Negroes followed. Then came the inpouring of the newly emancipated blacks from the South and the economic struggle of the artisans to maintain wages, which brought on the crisis in the city, manifested again by idleness, crime, and pauperism. Thus, we see that twice the Philadelphia Negro has, with a fair measure of success, begun an interesting social development, and twice through the migration of barbarians, a dark age has settled on his age of revival. These same phenomena would have marked the advance of many other elements of our population if they had been as definitely isolated into one indivisible group.
Yeah, he's saying like everything that we're going through, that we were going through as black people back then, like everybody else would be going through the same thing if they had the same characteristics that we had, which was our hue. But once again, he's talking about like he's saying that they're indivisible because of their hue. But that I don't agree with that.
These same phenomena would have marked the advance of many other elements of our population if they had been as definitely isolated into one indivisible.
Yeah, into one indivisible group. Even him, right? He was a light skinned black person that was able to go to Germany, go all these places to go study. Where the average, a nigga today ain't going to Germany to study. The average person living in the hood is not traveling, going to Harvard, going to all these spaces. Like that's not how it works. I mean, so you're like they do climb out. They've always climbed out of our blackness to mix within the elite. To like even like I always go back to it. The Black Jacobins. When you're reading in that book and what's his name? Anyway, he's saying in the book about the free blacks, like the mulattoes. These people have always been around. This different elite group of black people. I mean, elite. I'm talking about like access to resources. They have always been here since we landed on these shores. They've always because that's what imperialism and white supremacy does. It separates. It breaks up. It breaks up the entire group. So they're fighting with each other, and they're fighting for different causes. And while they're fighting for different causes, they ignore the devil right there in front of their face. I mean, so like we are in blackness. There is the visibility. You can escape. You can leave. And this was after the Black Jacobins. So like I mean, I'm rereading. I'm taking in what he's saying, but you also have to understand his status, Du Bois' status. Du Bois is an elitist. He's not one of the people on the ground. He's not down there. He's an elitist looking from up top, giving his perspective on what the race should do from his studying from Germany and all these different places, from Harvard. Like he's giving his idea what we should do, and I'm gonna go more into it as he speaks on what we should do, how we should be moving.
No differences of social condition allowed any Negro to escape from the group, although such escape was continually the rule among Irish, Germans, and other whites. The transplanting of the Negro, 1638 to 1760. The Dutch, and possibly the Swedes, had already planted slavery on the Delaware when Penn and the Quakers arrived in 1682. One of Penn's first acts was tacitly to recognize the serfdom of Negro.
All right, because even that, the Quakers did not arrive in which I think she's 1682. That's not when the first Quaker I think came like in the 50s. In the 1650s, that's when what's her name? What's her name? I got to go in my notes to go look for her name. But 1655, she came over here. Let me see. Mary Fisher Ann. She came to Massachusetts to the Chesapeake Bay. Is that her? No, that's not her. My bad, y'all. Elizabeth Harris. She came in the Chesapeake through the Chesapeake Bay, whatever. And the Chesapeake Bay is not that far from. This is another story. Because like when we say in Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania, the name Pennsylvania came from I believe William Penn. William Penn, who was a Quaker. The land was sold to him. You see, we're still dealing with the same issues today. The land was sold to him while he was in England. The king over there, King whatever, who was his name? King whatever. I don't know, James William, whatever the king was in England, sold him the land. And he came over here in 1682. He came over here, but they were here before that. They already had land. They were already doing work here before that. They were trying to do whatever they were trying to do. Because like I said, you got to go do more history to really understand what the Quakers was doing here. Why were the Quakers here? Why were they fighting with the Puritans? Why were they fighting with the other established power in on these shores? Why were they? Because they claimed they were against slavery, even though they had slaves. I mean, if you go through their history, you're gonna see they still had slaves and stuff, but they claimed they were against slavery and they were fighting against slavery. But it's all economics. It's all economics. People that get in land, an organization or religious group that's getting land from the kings in England, that's over there working with the kings of England. Because the Quakers started with the Church of England. They separated from the Church of England in 1647. I mean, when they founder George Fox decided to leave the Church of England. Why did they leave the Church of England? Why did they want to leave the Church of England? What were they searching for? I mean, don't stand in front of me and say because they saw God, because all this God stuff. Like, just don't play with me. I mean, but that's what they were saying. They were saying because they had differences and all of that, but they still had relationships with the king, with the people that was over there brutalizing people in Africa, going around taking people's land. And even when he came, when William Penn came in 1682, when he came over there to that space, and he was going to name it Sylvania, supposed to mean land of the forest, land of the woods, or whatever. That's what it was supposed to mean. But he said the king advised them to put Penn in front of it, so they call it Pennsylvania. That's why we still call it Pennsylvania now, because of these people. They're telling me these people left England, came all the way here, brutalized and killed, stole the land from the because when they sold them that land, it belonged to the Indians, Native Americans. It belonged to the Native Americans. When they came over here, they brutalized, killed, did whatever they did, flooded out the Native Americans for them to take that land. I mean, and then they took more land. This is the Penn people, the Quaker people, and these are the people that he's talking about. Black people are owing their allegiance to their liberation, to their freedom. You see why we're still not free today? You see why we're still not free? I'm going to play the video. You're going to hear him talk about these people like every single time you talk to these academics or we talk about liberation. These people talk about going to the Congress, going to politicians, going to philanthropists. Yo, they never talk about themselves organizing their own people to be able to liberate themselves. It's always getting funding from the government to be able to do a study, to be able to do this, do that. They got to get funding. They got to belong to a corporation. They can't do it by themselves. They refuse. It's not that they can't do it. They refuse to. It's easier to be a bootlicking Uncle Tom.
Chairman,
Yeah.
I believe it. I don't remember, but I don't know if it was the Black Panther or the Young Lords. They did a study. They went to the hospital, sat in front of the hospital, and everybody that went in that hospital, they spoke to them. The people wrote down their issues, what their concerns was. They did that for like several months. They gathered all the information, and they gave it to whoever, I think, in the hospital where it was, and they presented that study. And there were changes made. The workers fought for the changes. The people in the community fought for those changes because they had the science behind them. So I'm just saying all that it can be done. The people have done it before. It can be done.
But it's not. Yeah, it can be done. But going to go beg these people, go beg the politicians, go beg the imperialists. The only reform they're going to give you is one that allows them to maintain power over you. Nobody's waking up talking to Jesus and is giving up imperialism. That's not how none of that works. Nobody's going to get elected and go into imperialist governments to go liberate the people, to go free the people. It has never happened. It will never happen. And we have to draw a line. We have to draw a demarcation line where reality is and where all these people that have been bamboozled, they've been lied to their whole life. So, because some people, they don't even know no better. They really believe in their mind, this is the path towards liberation. Other than separating from the society you know has you as a slave and building your own institutions. Nobody want to touch that. Nobody want to do that because they understand the courage it takes to do something like that.
By provision of the Free Society of Children, that they should serve 14 years and then become such, the provision which he himself and all others so violated.
I think he's talking about William Penn right there when they came over in '82. When they came, what they were trying, because when they came, the issue of slavery was going on, the issue with the natives was going on, and this is what Penn, like, who are you? Who are you to come over? Like just think about that. You just leave from England, come to a land that you're not even from, that you have nothing to do with. But the king all the way in England and gave you the land. Now you coming over here and you telling people what they should do, how they should do to survive. The same thing still goes on today. What they be saying when the police pull you over, comply. Comply with who? Who are you for me to comply with? You are part of an armed agency of the state. You see, if you understand and you accept that you're a slave, that you're not free, that we are not free, and we accept that, and that's that's where we're coming off from, then who are you complying to? When the police pull you over talking about something, it's inclement weather while your light's not on. Because of that, they're holding guns at you, going to drag you out your car because your light's not on. And they're telling you to comply to them. Who the F are you for me to comply to you? I mean, and you have other black people. The sheriff down there, he's standing up in front saying that people should comply. Comply to who? And we're sitting here as a people in 2025 acting like we're stupid, that we don't know that we are not free. How are we still here doing that? But it's not us doing that. We don't have the platform to speak. The people in the hood don't have the platform to speak. To say, like, I'm not going to war for this country. Ain't nobody in the hood talking about going to go die nowhere for this country, running around with the flag draped around them. We ain't off that. It's only the bootlickers, the Uncle Tom that they allow on these platforms for them to go out there and tell our people to comply. And the parents or the family members coming on there trying to get a paycheck, because to them liberation is a paycheck. They've been socialized to believe liberation is a paycheck. They shoot your son in the back, shoot your husband in the back, your father in the back 2,000 times, and they give you a check. And that's liberation, because that's all you care about is the check. You really didn't even care about that son or that father when they were alive. They probably didn't even see them. They didn't agree with them, because the police don't run around here killing rich people, rich black folks. They run around killing poor black folks. Go look at the math. The overwhelming majority of the people that's hunted down and lynched by the police are poor black kids. Poor black people. Black men, black women, some black women. Because we know the numbers. We know they're hunting down black men. You go to the prisons are filled with black men. These are the realities we gotta talk about this. But why? Why is it black men? It's all social control. Divide the family, break the family up, break them up, then you got them going each other way. That we still dealing with the same social control and same people coming into our communities telling us how we should live and how we should comply to them when they're not here to serve us. Why am I complying to you? That's just the thoughts I'll be having. Because I'll be listening to all this, I'll be reading all these books, I'll be asking myself, why am I complying to these people? If these people are enemy of the people, why am I complying to them? Why am I even listening to them?
And who may or may not have been active members of the Society of Friends, protested sturdily against slavery in 1688, but the Quakers found the matter to, in quotes, weighty. 5 years later, the radical seceders under Keith made the existence of slavery a part of their attack on the society.
Like, listen to him. He's talking about the Quakers. He's talking about the Quakers and how, like, I guess black people were just sitting on the plantation or sitting wherever, just waiting for these Quakers to get their mind rights to free them. For them to find it in their heart to free them.
Nevertheless, the institution of slavery in the colony continued to grow, and the number of blacks in Philadelphia so increased that as early as 1693, we find an order of the council against the, in quotes, tumultuous gatherings of the Negroes of the town of Philadelphia on the first day of the week. In 1696, the Friends began a cautious dealing with the subject, which in the course of the century,
the Friends, that's another name the Quakers called themselves, the Friends. I mean, he's talking about the Quakers are the one that are like moving the ball. They started a conversation again. Hey, Du Bois, what y'all doing, Du Bois? What you and the rest of black intelligentsia, what are you doing? What are you guys doing? What is our path to liberation? You know what they was doing? They was trying to find ways to assimilate us into the system, into imperialism. That's what they was trying to do. They're trying to send us to wars, to go fight in wars, to prove that we deserve to be human beings. Remember, we're in 2025. We're talking about 16-something here. That's what they were doing then, in 16-something. Like, until this day, we're still on that path. We haven't understood and accepted the fact that we are not free. They will never free us. You do not hear our intelligentsia, our intellectuals explaining to us that we must build our own institutions, that we are on their plantation, all of us. We're all on their plantation. We don't control nothing. We have no power. We must start to separate and build our own institutions. They're not saying none of that. This the boys that's doing this study right here. This is not the boys that gave up, left, and died in Africa. That's not the Du Bois. Because all this goofy stuff he talking, when they get ready, they came for him. When they got ready, they came for him. It didn't matter the NAACP, it didn't matter none of that. When they got ready, they came for him too. They had him up in Congress calling him a Marxist and everything. They came for him too. And at some point he
Did
understood.
the Quakers come to his defense?
Now I don't even know. That's a whole different study that I got to go into to go look. But I doubt it. I doubt they came into his defense, because the Quakers is like every other religious institution. They have their own reasons for doing what they're doing, and they mask it with religion. The boy owned Pennsylvania, bruh. They own Pennsylvania. They got the King of England. How you think he got the King of England to give him Pennsylvania? You know when they started? The Quakers started in 1647. That's when George Fox walked away from the English church, the British church, whatever they called the church. He walked away, started his own sect. By 1690 something, what you call it? Penn got a whole state. They got a whole state in a whole different country. And we still sitting here. We sitting here, even though we go all the way back thousands of years of knowledge. We're sitting here waiting for the Quakers to come and fight to liberate us. That's what he's talking about right here. Waiting for the Quakers.
Led to the abolition of slavery.
Hear that? No, let me go back again.
This broke through a cautious dealing with the subject, which in the course of the century led to the abolition of slavery.
Quakers led to the abolition of slavery.
This broken sentiment was slow but unwaveringly progressive, and far in advance of contemporary thought in civilized lands. At first, the French sought merely to regulate slavery in a general way and prevent its undue growth. They therefore suggested a yearly meeting of 1696, and for some time thereafter, that since traders, in quotes, had flocked in amongst us and increased and multiplied Negroes amongst us, members sought not to encourage the further importation of.
Those are other Quakers. Those are other Quakers that came in amongst them. All these years they're talking about they're going to get rid of slavery. They're from God. They don't deal with slavery. There are other Quakers that come in to get more slaves, that got slaves, and had their whole thing all discombobulated. Liberalism. They're practicing liberalism. Combat liberalism. Like if you're against slavery, if your organization is against slavery, how are you allowing people to come in that got slaves? They allowed the people to come in that had slaves. They didn't do nothing to them until what, 1776 or something like that. That's a few years before the the Revolution? No, the Civil War will be over. That was a few years. I think it was 1882 or something like 81, whatever. 82. So all this time, from the 1600s all the way to like 5 years before the war, like they see how the tide is shifting. I don't trust none of these organizations, none of these groups, all this fake philanthropy. Like I have a healthy skepticism, whatever, to what they're doing. Healthy. Because when I was listening to this, and I'm listening to them talking about the Quakers and all of that, I'm like, let me go check the Quakers out real quick. Let me go see what the Quakers is about. It's because I put my imagination in that time. I put myself inside Du Bois' mind, where he went to school, who educated him, his family life, all of that, and I'm trying to look through his eyes on how to deal with the condition. And looking through his eyes, which he wanted to be white. He dressed white. He thought white. You have to look at it from his perspective, and his perspective was assimilation. Our only hope was assimilation into the system, into a system that had butchered, killed, brutalized our people for decades. From his perspective, our only way to liberation was assimilation, which is stupid. I don't care. He Du Bois. Yeah, I'll read all these people, but I can disagree with them because I'm in 2025. The evidence is abundant all around us that you can negotiate with imperialism. You can negotiate with white supremacy. He's a test case. When he was writing this in 1890 whatever, he was writing this book, The Philadelphia Negro. He wasn't privy to what would happen from then to 2025. We are. We have all the data and the evidence of what happened from then until now. And for us to still be thinking the same way, you're weird. You're weird. You're not a serious person. Nobody should listen to you. If you still believe assimilation is the answer, going into these institutions, running for politics, everything we do should be separate from what they do. We should know that by now. There's no deals being cut. We can't cut no deals with these people. We are on the plantation, and our only motive operandi is to build our own institutions to serve our children, the generations coming. Like when I show you the video, you don't see me talking to a lot of adults. They're too far gone. They're too far gone. They're married. They're married to the life that they have. Whether it be church, whether it be their job, whatever ideology that they have in their mind, they've been socialized to have in their mind. You're jerking wreck thinking you're going to change that. You're not changing nothing, especially if they're getting paid for it. Like Du Bois, if I went back all the way back then where he was at, and I'm like, hey, yo, bro, man, they ain't going to do none of that, bro. I'm like, listen, bro, they ain't going to do nothing. All they're going to do is going to give us syphilis. They're going to put AIDS in our community. They're going to lock all of us up. They're going to keep us in communities with poison water. They're going to gentrify. If I told them all that, they're going to build a whole prison industrial complex. If I told him all of that, he'd be looking at me like I'm crazy because they were paying him to do that study. The school was paying them. Them white people was paying them. Jewish white people was paying them. So he wasn't listening to me. Said he would have went and told on me. He probably would have got me killed. If you really want to be frank about it. But let's listen to more of the stuff that he said.
Slaves, as there were enough for all purposes. In 1711, a more active discouragement of the slave trade was suggested, and in 1716, the yearly meeting intimated that even the buying of imported slaves might not be the best policy, although the meeting hastened to call this caution, not censure. By 1719, the meeting was certain that their members ought not to engage in the slave trade, and in 1730, they declared the buying of slaves imported by others to be, in quote, disagreeable.
Those are the Quakers he's talking about. By 1730, they say it's disagreeable to buy slaves. These are people that are against slaves. Even though they came in there and they killed the Native Americans, brutalized them to take their land. Now they're saying, like, there's no consistency. I mean, now they're talking about, it's the same thing, same way they do politics now. I mean, the way they're doing immigration now. Everything that they're doing now, everything's a political football. They're kicking it back and forth. But none of these people in power are really concerned about dealing with the issue. Nothing changes. Like, what they're talking about, the Epstein files, you ain't never going to see it. They're going to keep kicking it back and forth. Nobody's going to see it. It's the same thing they're doing back then, kicking it back and forth. And when they finally come with reform, that reform ain't going to do nothing. It's not going to change the power dynamics.
At this milestone, they lingered 30 years for breath and courage, for the meeting had evidently distanced many of its more conservative members.
You hear that? When they had that meeting in 1730, whatever, say 30-something, for them to, like, whoever got slaves, like, that ain't really cool around here. When they had that meeting, some of them broke apart. The more conservative one broke apart. The same thing is going to happen to the Democratic Party. They're going to die too. I mean, all these, like that, the groups, they come and they die. The Democratic Party, they're now socialists now, democratic socialists. It takes time because the Democratic Party is dying. I'm going to say it. I don't care. Like, I may be wrong, so what? But I don't think I am. The Democratic Party is dying. Nobody want to be associated with Democrats no more. I mean, they're going to start splitting off. They already started with Bernie in the 2016, all the democratic socialism, all this goofy stuff that they're talking about, but they're still Democrats. They're going to be splintering and breaking apart because they're not really about what they say they're about, and people start to see it. So when people start to see it, they start fleeing, they start jumping ship. They all start jumping ship because they're all frauds and liars, both parties. The entire fake political system in America is all fraudulent. It's a social construct. There's no power in in the electoral process. You don't gain power. You're not gaining power by participating in that electoral process. I was about to go into something, but I'm going to wait.
In 1743, the question of importing slaves or buying imported slaves was made a disciplinary query, and in 1754, spurred by the crusade of Say, Woolman, and Benezet, offending members were disciplined. In the important gathering,
John Woolman that they're talking about, these are other Quakers. I think he was born 1720. So they talk about in 58 and all this. These people, these Quakers, these are the people. He was born in 1720. This is who a whole race of people, black people. These are the people that they're waiting on for them to liberate them, for them to make the laws and the rules, because they own that town. They own Pennsylvania. The Quakers owned it. They're waiting for these people to come around to come fight for them to liberate them. And I'm gonna ask again, just like the intellectuals of today. What are you doing? How are you liberating your own people? The so-called intellectual, because when they call them intellectual, they're supposed to be smart. These are the smart people, the thinkers, the thought leaders. And when you listen to them, you listen to every single one of them, they're telling you to go into institutions of white supremacy, to go into the government, the government that killed all our leaders, that killed all our revolutionaries. This is where they're telling you to go. The government that's controlled by oligarchs, controlled by modern-day plantation owners. This is where they're telling you to go. These are the people that they're telling you to go be like. Nothing about building institutions in all our communities to liberate our people. Because that's what social science say. And Du Bois was a social scientist, was a sociologist. Which even makes it work, because he should know better. I mean, but like, sometimes I could be a little bit too harsh. I ain't even gonna front. I could be a little bit too harsh. Because dealing with imperialism, like, this is basically like a new phenomenon. It wasn't that old. So like even when I say the first person to come around there, the first Quakers was in 1650s, like, it'll be hard for them to have access to that information. I could just Google and go look at, check their history out, check their stuff out. I don't think about it. Back then, in 1890 something, like how you get all this information, like the books that you have to go to different countries to get this information. And how reliable really is that information? But be that as it may, we're in 2025. And they were waiting. He's talking about, because like right now, this chapter, he's talking about the history of black people. Because in the previous chapter, he said to understand the condition of the black people there, you had to go back and do history. So this chapter, he's doing history. And this whole history he's doing is their history. He's telling us about the Quakers. He's telling about the history of the Quakers. When he should be talking about what the black people themselves are doing. We're talking about the history of the Quakers because we're going to look to them for them to give us liberation. And then after they give you liberation, you're still not free. Was it de facto? You're in de facto slavery. You're not free. Yo, and if anybody hears something, want to chime in, please cut in. Like we're having a conversation. If you disagree, if you agree, whatever, chime in.
1758. The same golden rule was laid down as that which the Germans.
Hey, and pause for a second. Hey, Janan, I know you're here. You told me you're here. Yo, I want you to look at this show because you went to school for this. I want you to look at this, and now I need you after this for you to tell me how we could change this up to make this more appealing to people. Cause like that ain't what I went to school for. You dig? But yeah.
70 years previous had tortured them, and the institution of slavery was categorically condemned. Here they rested until 1775, when after a struggle of 87 years, they decreed the exclusion of slaveholders from fellowship in the society.
Yo, did you hear that? Day. Like he's talking about day. After 87 years, they decreed it. I think it was 1775, he said, they decreed it. Like who are they? Why is our history tied to them? Why are we tied to them? Why do we have to wait for them to do anything? Why are we not fighting like our own agency? Why haven't we all accepted like, the condition that we? What? Not all, because the people are led by a class of people. They're led by the intellectuals. That's how it is everywhere. I didn't make the rules. Everybody don't know the same thing at one point, at the same time. It's always got to be leaders that's going to lead the people. Unfortunately for us, the people that's been leading us as a people have always been the intellectual class, the class with the resources. They've been leading us. Nobody from us on the plantation, in the hood, none of us have led us and pushed our agenda. The agenda that's always pushed is that of the higher class. And the higher class is always trying to assimilate into imperialism. That's why nothing has changed. Our condition has not changed. All they've done is betray the revolution. Every single time they betray the revolution. And you could listen to it in his own words. Like, it was making me mad listening to it. You see, when I first listened to the Philadelphia Negro, I didn't catch all these things. All these things didn't catch me. I didn't peep it. I didn't peep that brother was sitting here waiting for the Quakers. Like, this is what we was waiting for, the Quakers to liberate us.
The councils of the state of church, the freedom of Negroes was thus evolving. The legal status of Negroes of Pennsylvania was being laid. 4 bills were introduced in 1700. 1 regulating slave marriages was lost. The other 3 were passed. But the Act for the Trial of Negroes, a harsh measure providing death, castration, and whipping for punishment, and forbidding the meeting together of more than 4 Negroes, was afterward disallowed by the Queen of Council. The remaining acts became laws and provided for a small duty on imported slaves and the regulation of trade with slaves and servants. In 17...
How could you see yourself free, living in that kind of a space? How can you see yourself even trying to enter those kind of institutions? Because Du Bois wasn't fighting for separation. Du Bois was fighting for assimilation. That's what they were all fighting for. Booker T. Washington, all these people, they were fighting for assimilation. They were not fighting. They did not say, look, man, we're all slaves here. We have to accept that we slaves. And we working on their plantation to be able to work on our own underground railroad, where we're building ways for us to survive as a people. That's not what they were doing. They were capitulating. And then making excuses to why they capitulated, to justify their capitulation. That's what they were doing. Nobody's saying, you saw the stuff I showed you that we do in the community. Nobody's saying go to war with the government, go to war with these people. Like, you don't have no guns. You don't have nothing to go to war with these people. Nothing. But you could understand and accept reality. And start to organize your people and build institutions to teach your people who they are and how we liberate ourselves. Not continuously telling them to go into their schools, forcing them into their public schools. Somebody sent me something and they said, do you want to join our book bag drive? I still haven't answered it yet because I don't even know how to answer him because I know he means well. But I'll be goddamn if I'm going to give our book bags to go to imperialist schools. That's not in there for you. I'm not going to give our children book bags for them to go carry imperialist books into imperialist schools so they could be socially conditioned to be workers on somebody's plantation. That's not in there for me. I can't do that. I'm trying to figure out how I tell this person. I don't know right now. I just left that thing on scene. I mean...
In 1906, another act for the trial Negroes was passed and allowed. It differed but slightly from the Act of 1700. It provided that Negroes should be tried for crimes by 2 justices of the peace and a jury of 6 freeholders. Robbery and rape were punished by branding.
That's 1701 he's talking about? Bro, we're in 2025. You think the justice system today is better than what they had back then or worse than what. Yo, it's the same justice. There's no justice. Yo, all of these things is to give the illusion that you're getting justice, to allow you to sleep at night, because they know you're scared to really fight. So they give you all this illusion that cognitive dissonance. You know that this stuff is all fake, it's all a lie, that there's no justice. We all understand that. But as soon as something happens, y'all better go to court, call the police. Stand on the side of the police. Well, yeah, they found them guilty. The same system that you know is fraud. Because you're not going to organize to do nothing else. So you accept what they tell you. You accept what it is. These are the Quakers in 1700s making laws and stuff, dictating how our lives should be. And like, he just say all this stuff like it's nothing, like that's how it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be that way. It's not. This week, we was out in the park working with the kids at the basketball camp. I saw drones all over the place. No, drones are not supposed to be there. I'm going to find out why those drones are there. I saw a bunch of pigs, black cops down there. They're over there testing their drones right by the projects so they could go over there and spy on the community. They're not going to hunt down the landlords doubling people rents illegally, throwing people into the streets, making people homeless. They're not going to go take those drones to go look for the politicians that have the water poison that people drink in the air, everything, that have all these companies that's depressing wages by doing what? Bringing in immigrants from somewhere else to depress the wages, the same thing they was doing then. None of this stuff changes. Instead of dealing with the corporations that's doing this, we attack the immigrants that's trying to look for a better life. At this point, if you're falling for the banana in the tailpipe, you're an idiot. You're a political idiot. And you got to accept that. If you believe all the stuff that they're telling you, if you believe anything that they tell you, there are no good pigs, there are no good politicians. That's where we start off from. That's the baseline we start off from. There's no good Quakers either. There's no good religions. There's no good none of that. We don't deal with we deal with dialectic materialism. We don't deal with metaphysical idealism. Metaphysical idealism is the church. It's religion. That's metaphysical. Made up stuff. They made it up. We don't deal with that. We only deal with things you can prove, scientific. You can weigh it. You can weigh it. You can measure it. You got scientific evidence for it. We don't just believe what somebody say. They talk about somebody walking in talking about they saw God. They were talking to God. So now I changed my whole life because you said you was talking to God. What is you, stupid? That's not how we move here.
Exploitation, homicide by death, and stealing by whipping. The meeting of Negroes without permission was prohibited.
Listen to that.
Between this time and the 1760 statutes were passed regulating the sale of liquor to slaves and the use of firearms by them, and also the General Regulative Act of 1726, end quote, for the better regulation of Negroes in this province, end quote. This act was especially for the punishment of crime, the suppression of pauperism, the prevention of intermarriage, and the like. That is, for regular.
I gotta say it again. I like it just keeps bugging me in the back of my mind. Yo, the same Quakers he talking about. Yo, the Quakers came in 681. That's when they sold them the land. And these are the people that they're looking to liberate them. He's talking about 17-something now. 80-something years since the Quakers got there. And they didn't believe in slavery when they got there. They're the one making all these laws. This is the same Quakers. I don't know. We're going to see where he go from here. But I don't know why you look into these people. Why this... Not him. Why our intellectuals is waiting for these people to liberate us. Because right now he's just going through the history that they've been, like this is the history that they've been following. I get just waiting for the Quakers to liberate them.
Regulating the social and economic status of Negroes, free and enslaved. Meantime, The number of Negroes in the colony continued to increase. By 1720, there were between 2,500 and 5,000 Negroes in Pennsylvania. They rapidly increased until there were a large number by 1750. Some say 11,000 or more. When they decreased by war and sale, so that the census of 1790 found 10,274 in the state. The slave duties form a pretty good indication of the increase of Negro population. The duty in 1700 was from 6 to 20 Swiss francs. This was increased in 1712 owing to the large importations and the turbulent actions of Negroes in neighboring states. A prohibitive duty of 20 pounds was laid. England, however, who was on the eve of signing the Occidental with Spain, soon disallowed this act, and the duty was reduced to 5 pounds. The influx of Negroes after the English had signed the huge slave contracts with Spain was so large that the Act of 1726 laid a restricted duty of 10 pounds. For reasons not apparent, but possibly connected with fluctuations in the value of the currency, this duty was reduced to 2 pounds in 1729. It seems to have remained at that figure until 1761. The 10-pound duty was restored in 1761. It probably helped much to prevent importation, especially when we remember the work of the Quakers at this period. In 1773, a prohibitive duty of 20 pounds was laid, and the Act of 1780 finally prohibited importation. After 1760, it is probable that the efforts of the Quakers to get rid of their slaves made the export slave trade much larger than the importation. Very early in the history of the colony, the presence of unpaid slaves for life greatly disturbed the economic condition of free laborers. While most of the white laborers were indentured servants, the competition was not so much felt. When they became free laborers, however, and were joined by other laborers, the cry against slave competition was soon raised. The particular grievance was the hiring of a slave mechanic.
Can you pause, Chairman?
In 1708, the free.
I just want to point out, does this not sound familiar? This is talking about what the immigration crisis is about right now, labor, capital. And, that's all that is about. It's not about whether people came to this country illegally. That's not what the imperialists care about. They care about the free labor. And then there's the people that can't find work with a livable wage. So those are the two dynamics, that the same things they were dealing with hundreds and hundreds of years ago.
That's true. That's true. Like, they're not talking about when they talk about the immigrants, the workers, they're not talking about this corporation that's hiring them. You see, that's what I'm talking about with the Quakers. Like we have to, what were they doing there? Like, what were they really doing? How are they getting their money? What's this deal that they are able to move and do what they're doing? How you all the way over there getting land over here? I mean, they're not just here just saying these things like they want to end slavery, and then there's slavery over here. They're traveling over here, going to plantation, telling people like it shouldn't be slavery, telling the slaves they shouldn't be slavery. How are they able to move like that? How are you just able to move like that? I'm sure there's books already written on it that I have to just go. But I'm not a Quaker. I didn't give a damn about the Quakers, so I ain't see no reason to go study on the Quakers. But if I went and did a history on them to see what they were really doing here, I will understand what they was doing here. And then I'm intrigued. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing as today. All the focus is on the migrants. There's no focus on the people that's bringing the migrants, that's allowing the migrants to come, the people that's destroying where they're from, that they have to flee from where they're from. There's no real conversation about any of that. All they're talking about is just going to get people out of court. You go into court, somebody go to court to go deal with their migration status, whatever, and then there are people there, private security forces, to grab them and throw them in unmarked cars. Still dealing with the same stuff today. Still dealing with the same imperialist stuff today. That we really don't understand what's going on because we listen to the media, to the propaganda that the media is feeding us, which comes right from the same people committing the crimes. And we still haven't learned that we must separate and build our own institutions to be able to get the information. Every time they act like you see a rich person, a rich black person, celebrity, whatever, and they go get something, they calling it pro-black, they about to sell it. They're going to sell it soon. They're going to hurry up and find a way to sell it to imperialism. So now imperialism is using what they created to lie to black people to continue to lie to black people. Don't know Negro own BET? You know how many black people be watching BET? They be thinking the stuff they see on BET is pro-black stuff. I've been telling you, like, I really don't find fault with the masses of the people. They don't know no better. They've been socialized to be as dumb as they are. I don't remember the last time I watched BET, but I remember growing up how BET was so special. I had to make sure I put BET on when I came home. I had to put BET on because that was the black station. That was the ignorance that I was infused with growing up. BET, black entertainment, when it's not black at all. Nothing about BET is black. Just a bunch of court jesters, Stephen Fetchits, clowns up there with the painted faces, bamboozling and hoodwinking for the... Man, listen. Yeah, this stuff can be depressing. The only thing that lifts my spirits is the work that we do. Because when you start to work with the kids and you talk to them, they're different from all these adults. They're smarter too.
White mechanics protested in the legislature against this custom, and this was one of the causes of the Act of 1712 in all probability. When by 1722 the number of slaves had further increased, the whites again protested against the employment of blacks, apparently including both free and slaves. The legislature endorsed this protest and declared that the custom of employing black laborers and mechanics was dangerous and injurious to the public. Consequently,
like, if you don't understand what they're talking about, it was free white people. It was people here that was free, that were like, yo, if these black people are free, or you're using these black people for free labor, yo, you messing up our bread. Those were the conversations that were going on. Nobody really cared about freeing black people. It was messing up their money. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about economics. Don't nobody really care if you're a free black man, black woman, whatever you want to call yourself. They didn't.
Yeah, man.
Yo.
Because those white indentured, them white laborers, they wanted to have slaves too. So they had to make the money to have slaves.
But you couldn't make the money to have slaves because they have slaves doing the free work. Just like now. Like in Newark, they busted that company that was hiring all those people to work down there, suppressing the wages, paying them like $5, $6, $7 an hour when they're supposed to be making $25, $30 an hour. So now you're paying them $5, $6. All the black people that are here, whoever, all the people that are here that want jobs, you don't think they're gonna feel some type of way? You go on construction sites, all you see. Yo, I heard Al Sharpton. It was something. I don't know if it was WBAI. I don't know. I think it was 107.5. Yeah, Papa, you left 107.5 on in the radio, so I'm listening to it, and they talking about Al Sharpton, and he giving the speech, whatever, talking about Trump said that they were taking black jobs. Where are your black jobs now? Acting like he doesn't understand how all these things play out in our communities. He probably don't because he's not in our community anymore. He hasn't been in our community for decades. But go to these construction sites. They hire people that they could depress the wages. You see, it's physically good for them because that's money they don't have to pay out. They make more money. They're keeping more money in their pocket. That's why they're doing it. They don't care if it's Spanish, if you're immigrant. They could care less. All they care about is keeping more money in their pocket. You think that doesn't affect the community? You think that doesn't cause, like, put up boundaries between groups in the community? You think the people in the community don't want those jobs? But they all play dumb. They all act stupid. Like they don't understand that people out here see it every day. You go everywhere you go.
Chairman,
Yeah.
when they ran down on that fish market in Newark, the mayor literally went on TV to chastise Trump about his immigration policy and said, do not mention the company's name, even though the news have already splattered the rest. But like, that's
They,
just
but
that
they
his
didn't they
policy.
didn't they didn't splatter it at first. At first they kept the name secret of the business. They didn't bring it out at first. They waited a couple of days before they brought the business out. And then even the business owner was standing up front acting like he mad. Bro, you got slaves. You have you hiring slave workers. In America, that's supposed to be democracy. The politicians not holding you accountable. Nobody's holding you accountable. So you just come out, like they could just come out on camera and just talk when they should be hiding their face. But they believe everybody is that stupid. And we're talking about Ras Baraka in Newark, New Jersey. Somebody that's supposed to be progressive. See, that's why I say the Democratic Party is dying. It's dead. It's dead. This system can't keep going on the way it's going on. Something got to happen. Because it's becoming more clear to everybody that this ain't right. That it's all a game. It's all a hustle. It's a scam. You don't even need to know history to know it's a scam. You can feel it.
Act of 1726 declared the hiring of their time by Negro slaves to be illegal and sought to restrict emancipation on the ground that, in quote, free Negroes are an idle and slothful people and easily become public burdens, end quote. As to the condition of the Negroes themselves.
You don't hear that now? They don't talk about black people like that. They don't talk about black people in the hood that they don't educate, that you go to these schools. Like, from your first day of going to school, you go to the worst schools in the country, the worst schools in the state. They don't teach you how to read. You don't learn nothing in those schools. They don't teach you what your purpose is while you're here. And then by the time they throw you out of their doors, they're looking at you like you're the problem. It is your fault that you know nothing.
Chairman,
Yo.
they literally made laws to prohibit the people from working, and then in the same breath, they denigrate them and say that they're lazy and slothful and don't want to work.
Yeah.
Same thing they're doing today.
The same exact thing they're doing today. Like the mayor will sit here and say like, hey, yo, the black man, you have to stand up. You have to stand up for the community. Yo, stop being outside. Go get a job. You have to do. At the same time, he's going to these people that got slave labor. He's on their side. He's standing with them. He's standing with them. Instead of the residents that pay taxes. The resident that he said, when I become mayor, you're going to become mayor. He's standing with the people that's hiring illegal people, depressing the wages. You see, they never talk about that. And then this the crazy shit that, they'll be like, who's going to do the job? Who's going to do the job if they all leave? Everybody's looking for work. You just got to pay them what they're worth. You can't have somebody out there doing work $50 an hour and you're paying them $5. They're going to be like, yo, it's not worth it. I'm not going out there. Paying them $15 an hour. Rent is like $1,500 to $2,000 a month. But they got to go work for $15 an hour. Who you think is going to do that? And how long you think they're going to do that for? Because after a while, they understand this math ain't math. It ain't adding up. I can't even afford water. I can't afford gas. I can't even afford to buy a ride. I can't even afford a place to stay. And then none of these politicians are addressing that. And if they address it, they lie. Once they get into office, they work for the people that funded their campaign. I'm talking about Mandani, all these people that y'all be running around here, like just throwing their eggplants in your throat. Those people that you run around here sucking, those people, They're going to do nothing for no one. Just like Bernie, just like Obama, just like the Clintons. You could keep going all the way down the line. All they do is lie. These politicians are liars. Because the system that they work in, the institutions they work in, won't allow them to do nothing, even if they wanted to do it. And they know that. They just believe you an idiot. They believe you're going to keep falling for the banana in the tailpipe. So bro going to tell you, yo, when I get in office, I'm going to be paying people $30 an hour. Shut up. Everything's going to be free. You're going to be riding the bus for free, the train for free. Who you think you're talking to? They charge you to even walk into Manhattan now. Just for you to go into Manhattan, drive your car into Manhattan, you got to pay. Now you telling me all the transportation, everything going to be free. You're going to be paying people $30 an hour. And these people just eat it up. And then once you get into office, they won't hold them accountable. They may start talking about him like, yeah, he's a disappointed. But they got the new one. Maybe what the next mayor going to be what? A white gay woman. Or a black gay woman. That's going to be the next mayor. Like that's how progressive they are. They're so gay. They're the gayest person ever to run. They be like, yeah, yo, I support them. They standing up for gay rights. And then they go in there, it doesn't matter how gay they are. They still going to throw people into the street. They're going to throw gay people into the streets. That's what that electoral process has to offer. Nothing. Nothing. Just like back then, 16, whatever, 17, whatever, they have nothing to offer us. So why are we still falling for the banana in the tailpipe? Why are we still joining them?
We catch only glimpses here and there. Considering the times, the system of slavery was not harsh, and the slaves received fair attention. There appears, however, to have been much trouble with them on account of stealing, some drunkenness, and general disorder. The preamble of the Act of 1726 declares that, in quote, it too often happens that Negroes commit felonies and other heinous crimes, and that much pauperism arises from emancipation.
Wow.
End quote. This act.
Yeah, they say that's what's going to happen from emancipation, from being emancipated. You're going to be drunk and committing crimes from being free. Not that there's no access to resources. Like if you don't have a job, where else you going to be at? You're not going to be outside. You're the same laws they're talking about. You'll go in the hood. You see the sign right there, no loitering. So if you're outside, the police pull up, they see you outside, they could throw you in the back of the car and lock you up. Like, nothing changes. It's still the same stuff. We're not back in 2025. In 16 something, 17 something. We're in 2025. It's not going to look the same. But it's going to feel the same. You're going to feel like you're at the bottom. You're going to be the one in the streets, wearing the worn clothes. Yeah, I went this week. I was supposed to pick up one of the kids for the basketball camp. And I sent him a text, because I send him a text every morning when I'm coming, like I'm on my way. He's like, I can't come today. I don't have no clean clothes. I thought about it for a second. I wasn't going to say that. I'm going to just let it ride. But I was like, you know what? Try it anyway. I was like, yo, what if I bring you some clothes? But I understood his pride. He was like, nah, I'm going to just come on Monday. Like, how old is he, 10? And before that, he came like 3 days in a row with the same hoodie. Until somebody says something slick to him. Like, bro, you can't keep wearing that same hoodie. See, because that's what happened when you outside with other people. You get socialized. They start telling you, like, that's not copacetic, my guy. One of the other kids said something slick about the hoodie. So the next day when you came, I saw you didn't have the same hoodie on. But we try to give them Panther t-shirts. We try to give them, like, stuff that we have. But you can't force nobody to take nothing. And you don't want to make them feel some type of way. Our conditions have not changed at all. This is not a space where we come in here and we going to lie about, like, we doing this, black people done did this, we catching hell out here. I'm catching hell. My family catching hell. Rent is too damn high. Like, sometimes, like, we going to have to go a couple of days, like, missing a couple of meals. Because everything is too expensive. Your antifreeze costs $20-something now. I remember when it was $6 a few years ago. It was $6. Inflation is crazy. But these are the conditions we're dealing with. And everybody keeps saying to us like we live in a democracy. Democracy. How you living in democracy when you are not able to dictate anything? Your word means nothing. Your vote means nothing. Nothing that you do changes the material condition at all, from decade to decade, generation to generation. And you still sitting here saying you're in a democracy. You a fool.
Facilitated punishment of such crime by providing indemnification for a master if his slaves suffered capital punishment. They were declared to be often tumultuous in 1693, to be found cursing, gaming, swearing, and committing many other disorders in 1732, in 1738, and in 1741. They were also called disorderly in city ordinances. In general, we see among the slaves at this time the low condition of morals which we should expect in a barbarous people forced to labor in a strange land.
Nah, that's chapter 3. And that don't sound like when you go in the hood, people outside in the hood, and the laws and stuff that they're passing in the community against the people in the hood, that the people that they've made ignorant and poor, it's the same people he's talking about. I mean, when you bring up these things, you have other black people that's always saying, what do we do? What do we do? What's the other option? I said they don't know. They just don't want to do it. They don't want to do the other option. They don't want to go out. They don't want to go out and use their money to have meetings like this. They don't want to go out and speak to the community like this. Yo, their time is not reserved for this. Their time is reserved. I'm talking about the academics. Their time is reserved. Whatever little time they have is to write books, to sell the books, to try to make more money, to go to conferences, to go to those conferences. Then they'll be like they're having a meeting. We all revolutionaries. Yo, we have to come together, but you got to pay this amount of price, and you got to come out here for us to go to do this. Everything's about money. Everybody's a scammer. They use it. Liberation has now turned into a scam. Yo, no program, nothing we offer to the community we charge anything for. Nothing we offer to the community we charge anything for. And we fund everything we do. We don't get money from no NGO, no corporation. We're not a non-profit. Yo, we're the people. We just have meetings and we come up with what we're going to do to be able to transform our communities. Nobody's paying us for anything. You don't get paid for revolution, bro. You don't get paid to liberate yourself. Look at the food that we got in there, bro. We don't just have BS food that people not gonna eat. Look, you see the eggs? How much is eggs? Look at the greens in there. You even got the little, what's that? Chocolate chip cookies. And what's that over there? Ground white turkey. Stuff that sound healthy. Got the croissant. Got more chicken up there, more eggs. No, I didn't even play this. Just listen to this. That's not a government worker. That's not a politician. He just like you. He just like you, going to go get the food, to bring the food. This is all work. Nobody's paying him to do this right here. Nobody needs to pay you to fight for the liberation of your people. I mean, he out here putting the work in. Hey, yo, the food is here. Our local hero done brought the food out. See that? Superman don't wear no cape. The food is here, baby. I mean, we about to pack the food up and then go out and go deliver it and get it to the families. Yo, that whole van is packed with food. So, like, each box has different things. Like, box may have corn, eggs, meats, whatever. So he brings the box out. So we take the box and we break it all up and we put the different stuff in the different boxes. Like, we do it all over again, and then we put it all in the trucks. All the people that call us, that contact, that hit us up, say that they want food. Yo, we don't have to embarrass you. You don't have to feel embarrassed coming out. Yo, we drop it right at your door. We bring that box of food right at your door. But why are we doing that? to try to find people, to organize people. Don't nobody have to pay us thousands of dollars for us to go out here and do this. We do the work. Like, I remember when Bernie Sanders was running for office, and they were saying Bernie Sanders wasn't getting the black vote. They're like, Bernie Sanders needed to convince black people. See, that's not how none of that stuff works. You see, these black politicians, right, they get this money from these corporations, their donors. They get money in. Then when they get that money, or they even get donations in from the supermarket, they take that stuff out and go out, and they have lines. The mayor do it, and they have lines for people to come and get that food. That food don't come out of the mayor's pocket. The mayor's not the one out there doing none of that stuff. They're out there to give you the government food. When you start to do this on your own, start to organize this on your own, to do this kind of work on your own, that's a whole different level. People always talking about we do the same thing. No, I was about to say no the F we don't. No the F we don't do the same thing. Nothing we doing is paid for by the government. Nothing we do is paid for by corporations. Nothing we do is supported by the system that's oppressing our people. From our after-school programs to summer camps, the housing program, the water program, everything that we do is ours. So if the government say, if Trump passed a law saying they're not funding nonprofits, we not over here crying. We wasn't using you in the first place. We wasn't getting our resources from you in the first place. So our program don't die. Our programs don't die. What he said, George, what's his name? George Fox, the founder of the Quakers. I think he said something like do right when everyone think is wrong. No, still do right when everyone think is wrong. And still and something else. There was some quote, I forgot. I mean, but the quote basically was saying like, it doesn't matter what everybody around you says. Even if everybody tell you to go vote for Hillary Clinton, go vote for Biden, it don't matter none of that. We all know that these people will do nothing for us. So be courageous enough to say, I'm not going to go participate in that garbage. I'm about to join organizations or start an organization that's truly going to serve the people. And everything that you see us doing, we doing all of this so we could basically talk to our children, to organize them, to organize the community. Because once you do this for like 5, 6, 7, 10 years, these kids remember this. They remember you coming to pick them up. They remember you telling them about the government that they're dealing with now, about the society you're dealing with now. They have a reference point to go back to. And you could easily talk to those people. But the people that have been socialized by this government to be who they are, you can forget about it. You can forget about it. There's no talking to them. You can't change their mind, especially if they're getting paid. There's no discussion to have. Every morning, this is not a video right here. I don't have that video. But you should see the video right here. Because when they're walking out, when they get over there, all the homeless people are sitting over there. They have like, right here, what you looking at right, okay, so boom. Hey, Judge Secretary, you can see the screen? You can see the screen, right?
Yes, I can see the screen.
You see the little mouse on the screen?
No, not really.
Oh, okay, to the right. To the picture with all the children walking, like they're walking outside of the park. Right to the right, that's the homeless shelter right there. So in the morning, they kick the homeless people out of the homeless shelter, and they're all in here. Like behind these kids is the pull-up bar, all the stuff that we work out at. The homeless people are sleeping all on the homeless stuff, like on the benches. And when you walk out of here, there are homeless people lined up on both sides of the park. As you're trying to walk out, these kids got to go through this every day, every morning when they get up to come work. We get to have those conversations while those people are out there. You get to talk about those issues with them. You can't just walk up to a kid and start talking about homelessness. It don't work that way. You got to wait for the time to present itself. And next to that homeless shelter, that's a juvenile home right there. Straight ahead. Directly straight ahead of you. The trees are in front of it, but that's a juvenile center right there, where they have created spaces where they lock up kids.
Well, I don't know why I never paid attention to this. So we have a park that, you usually have kids in the park. And then in front of them, they have two choices: homeless shelter or the juvenile. What kind of psychological messaging is that?
This is all we have to offer you. This is all we have to offer you. And they see those homeless people every single day. Every single day. So we get to actually have a conversation with them and explain to them why those people are out there. Why discipline, hard work, determination, why that's what you need every day. Listen to it.
Consistency, man.
Consistency. Monday, Tuesday. I gotta argue with the parents. The parents don't be like, they be like, nah, they're taking the day off. There's no days off. There's no days off in this life. We are at war. Consistency. When I coach basketball, that's how I preach basketball. You'll drive the ball to the basket. Drive it down their throat. Drive the ball down their throat. Make them play defense. Make them guard you. Consistency. Study. That's the only way you're going to see what's in front of you. If you're not studying, if you're not aware, if you're not disciplined, you're not going to be able to deal with these people. And that's what we preach when we bring them in. So people be calling me coach. They call me all kinds of stuff. I'm an organizer. I'm a revolutionary. That's all I am. Basketball, football, whatever sport, anything that I'm in, I'm using that as a means to organize. You see me down at City Hall when I used to go down there. I use that to organize. You see me at a rally, I use that to organize. We giving out food, I use that to organize. Everything we doing, it's a way of life. And now we going outside the country doing it. That's what we do. That's the other option. That's what I've sent somebody the link. Somebody else asked me again, what's the option? What's our option? Like the same thing. What's our option? He talking about something. Yeah, we know both parties not right, but one party caters more to my needs. None of the parties caters more to your needs. You're lying to yourself. I don't know if the person is on here. I doubt. I don't think he came. I don't think he came on here. But I want people to come in so we can have this conversation. But yeah, I'm done. General, before I go, anybody want to talk about something before I go? Because the General Secretary about to show you about the housing, about HUD. She about to do the presentation about what is it HUD?
No, it's North Housing Authority.
North Housing Authority. How they've been stealing black people that look like us, just eating off us for free. While nothing changes in our community, everything gets worse. They bring these fake black people around here. They say that they're coming to do this. They speak with their nice diction, with their nice suits on. And they act like people believe them, believe what they're saying, when we all know they're lying. Frauds. So let me see that. You ready, General Secretary? You want me to play a commercial?
No, you can go to the next slide. Well, just...
Yeah, we had
No,
hold on. We had remember I told you, what you call it? What was her name? What the hell was her name? She landed on what you call it. Give me a second.
I think it was Harrison or something, the Quaker lady.
Yeah. What was her name? Elizabeth Harris. In 1850, she landed on the Chesapeake Bay. They go to Chesapeake Bay right here. This is what? If you see this map right here, this is Pennsylvania right here. Remember, he was going to name it just Sylvania. That's what Penn was going to name it, Sylvania. But he said the king told him to add Penn, because that was their name, Penn. So now it's Pennsylvania. So all this whole right here, Pennsylvania, right on top here, the whole Pennsylvania, the king of England gave it to them. And then she landed here. This was when the boy said in 82, that's when the got there, the Quakers got there. That's when they were given this whole land, but they've been there the whole time. They were coming in, trying to switch the Puritans, the Quakers. They've been doing it for years, for decades before that. Before the 1681, when they gave all the whole Pennsylvania. They gave the whole Pennsylvania to Penn, William Penn, whatever his name was. That's what we're dealing with. I mean, like if the King of England gave it to him, and you here and you waiting for him to liberate you, you sound like you a damn Palestinian, but you just don't know how to build tunnels. You don't know how to fight back. You don't know how to resist. I mean, and that's been our story as black people. We are always waiting for the government. Now our leaders, our academics are always telling us to wait for these governments, for these oppressors to give us our liberation. I wish one of them would stand in front of me and say something goofy like that. I would choke the shit out of him if I don't punch him in the teeth. I don't have time for that no more. I don't have time to negotiate, to talk. Yo, our only duty right now is to build institutions to liberate our people, to build our own schools, to build our own economic centers. That's our only duty right now. That's our only duty. That's our mandate for this generation. Your mandate is to build institutions to serve your own people and get the money out your pocket. You're working on those plantations, you're a doctor, you're a mechanic, you're a teacher, whatever you're doing on the plantation, you take that money and go back and build institutions to serve your own people. That's the only way you defeat these people. You think they just woke up one day and they gave him Pennsylvania? He was working the king out there. For decades they were working the king. They had to, just to have a relationship with the king. This ain't no little people that the king is going to listen to you and give you a whole Pennsylvania, a whole state. Like, what is you bugging? Like, and what are we doing? What is the organizing we doing? I mean, I went and looked it up. I was like, let me go get the map. Because, like, when you see the map, when you see it, look at it, all of it. They own all of it. All of it. And these people talk about something they're against slavery when they were the one managing slavery. Talking about both sides of their mouth. Release the Epstein file. What you mean release the Epstein file? Bro, y'all just had the Epstein file the whole time Biden was president. Y'all ain't release it. Now that Republicans are in, release the Epstein files. Man, shut up. Shut up. Because both of y'all in it. Both parties are pedophiles. Pedos. All of them. They're all corrupt. They're all in there. They're all in them files. They all take them trips. They're all in those videos. That's what we're dealing with, man. But I'm about to take it over. I'm about to take it to Mutar. Is Mutar here? I wish he could talk about it.
Yeah, Mutar's here.
Hey, matter of fact, you want to let Mutar talk about what he did right here?
Mutar, talk about your video, and then we're going to play it.
Come on, Mutar. You there? You terrible at this job,
Well,
Mutar.
he was here. He's not here no more.
Yeah, I gotta go find another co-host. Nah, but this is Mutar right here. He's an activist in the city. I mean, so I'm about to play him, and the general secretary is going to take over.
The topic of this file: check on your people down at North Housing Authority. I'm down here at 500 Broad Street, North Housing Authority, and we got a situation. We have a serious situation. North Housing Authority will be moving to a third-party management. What is third-party management? Third-party management means that an outside company will manage NHA and handle day-to-day operations, including staffing. Why is NHA moving to a third-party management? North Housing Authority is transitioning to improve the quality of services to residents. Currently, we are not meeting standards for property management. Third-party firms specialize in this work and expected to deliver higher services levels to residents. Listen, man, we have a serious situation. North Housing Authority is transitioning to a third-party property management company. This means that they will be laying off lots of people from North Housing Authority. Lots of people will be getting laid off from North Housing Authority. What this also means is people will be moved from homes aggressively. This also means that people will be moved from homes aggressively. When will this transition begin? The target Start date is November 1st, 2025. November 1st, 2025. Though this may vary slightly, staff will begin seeing third-party representatives conduct property walkthroughs. Will all properties be transit?
So I'm going to stop the video right there. If you want to watch the rest of the video, please go follow Musa Alamin on his Facebook page. So he is talking about Newark Housing Authority. And let me give you a little background. Newark Housing Authority was going to be taken over by the federal government because they were under poor management. The board of directors of Newark Housing is filled with what we call the Friends and Family Plan. One of the board members is PAC Council, because with these agencies, you have to have somebody from the city part of it, from all the different areas of Newark. So one of the council members is PAC Council. He's on the board. So to avoid the takeover of Newark Housing Authority, HUD, the government agency, appointed Leonard Spicer. So this is just documents that Musa Alamin was holding, explaining what the Newark Housing Authority is moving into third-party management. It's going to be more than one entity managing Newark Housing Authority, because Newark Housing Authority have a lot of properties. So basically, this is the paperwork he was reading on the video. So this is Leonard Spicer. This is a video I did over the week, giving a little background. Again, he was hired by HUD. In his quote, he says, "I understand I'm stepping into a very dynamic environment," Spicer told Tap Into Newark. "With that said, I plan to initially focus on the fundamentals, providing good customer service, housing families, collecting rents, making units ready for occupancy, reducing work order numbers, providing training to staff, engaging and supporting residents, councils, and advisory boards, and establishing a solid foundation with our municipal partners to increase the number of affordable housing units in Newark." So that's what he said he plans to do. So that was in 2023, so we're in 2025, and as the video showed, they are going to hire third management companies to do the job he said he was going to do. So I'm going to play this video because it has a lot more information. If you have any questions or feedback, please chime in. Greetings, comrades. This is Leonard Spicer. He was hired by HUD in 2023 to fix the issues plaguing Newark Housing Authority. In 2025, Newark Housing Authority announced they will be transitioning to improve the quality of service to residents. Currently, we are not meeting standards for property management. Third-party firms specialized in this work are expected to deliver higher service levels to our residents. One of the third-party property management companies that were selected is called the Newark Phoenix Group, which was established August 16, 2024, and its registered agent is the Newark Housing Authority. On November 21, 2024, the Newark Housing Authority passed a resolution designating the Newark Phoenix Group as the management agent to perform leasing and management responsibilities for the RAD properties. The Newark Phoenix Group is led by Leonard Spicer, who is currently the Chief Operating Officer for the Newark Housing Authority. So the question remains, how does Mr. Spicer, who was hired by HUD to fix Newark Housing Authority issues, is now the head of a nonprofit property management company to fix Newark housing issues? There seems to be a disconnect, or I would like to say,
Corruption! Corruption, both of them.
Please. So, with further research, according to the laws, they are allowed to do that, create another entity to manage HUD. So again, like, it doesn't matter. These people aren't held accountable for anything. Whether they do a good job or not, they just continue to stay in those positions or move up into a position or go into another entity to do the same job they're hired. And all this is getting paid by our tax dollars. So what I'm showing on the screen is the resolution, a little excerpt from the resolution that explains more. So North Phoenix Group is not the first nonprofit entity to do this work with Newark Housing Authority. Previously, before the Phoenix Group, there was Newark Affordable Housing Coalition. They were the management entity. So what these people do is they just switch from one entity to another, but it's still the same people doing the same poor job, and nobody is being held accountable. So this is Leonard Spicer. When he was, this is little bio you can find on the Newark Housing Authority, because the Newark Phoenix Group website has not been fully created. Again, this is a new entity they created. They have the website out, but it's not complete. They don't have everything. So this is a little bit about him, and I'm going to just read a little bit about his background. Leonard's distinguished career includes his recent role as the director of the Office of Public Housing at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. In this capacity, he oversaw all 110 public housing authorities and agencies in New Jersey. So if you want to know more about him, again, he has been head of housing. And how has housing been running in New Jersey? We are facing a major housing crisis. But this guy, he worked for the state and the federal government, and now he's in Newark. Oh, yes, please do.
No, this is me. It's not a housing crisis because they know what they're doing. This is no crisis. I mean, that is displacement. I mean, I know I don't want to be a stickler or nothing, but it's displacement. It's not a crisis that we don't know how to figure out. They don't know how to figure out. They know exactly what to do. They choose. I see the right mark. You got the right cursor right there on him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw the right cursor. But anyway, but it's not a crisis. This is what the system is working exactly how they want it to work out. The power is going to the slumlords and the landlords. They got the power, and the banks.
And these are the people that are controlling our housing. This is Basola Tayo. She is also on the board of the Phoenix Group. And none of these people are new to Newark. They come from different part of the city, and they place them on these boards to continue to do the same poor job. Ms. Tayo was previously the Chief of Staff and Assistant Director of Department of Economic and Housing Development. Now, the Department of Economic and Housing Development, who is the person that's currently running it is Allison Ladd. We call her Lying Allison Ladd because that's all they do. Their whole job is to get these developers the cheapest, to get them all the funding they need, and allow them to charge us whatever they rent. And she worked in that department. They the one who came up with the slumlord zoning ordinance that allows landlords to raise your rent up to 5% every year. Yes, she was part of that. But she don't get held accountable. She just get promoted. She's also part of Invest Newark, which I believe, allegedly, is just a cash grab, money laundering company that they use to give property to their friends. Cornella Richardson, she came from the Irvington Housing Authority, I believe. She also worked for HUD. And everybody that knows that have to deal with HUD, Section 8, these housing authorities, they are not working for the people. And Doso Kasumu, you know him, Chairman, right? He looks familiar. But he's also from the Newark Community Economic Development Corporation, another entity that's part of the city of Newark that also, I believe, allegedly is another money laundering scheme, scam. All these have to do with properties and land and capital.
Hey,
Because
General Secretary, you hear me?
here,
You can hear me?
yes.
Hey yo, Doso. when we was going to Essex County, I mean he used to be around there a lot. I mean we used to be going out to city council, and I used to be going back and forth with the politicians because the policies they were passing, the things they were doing, seems contradictory to what they were saying. Doso was always like, what do I want to say? Was always an apologist for what was going on. And I'm like, yo, why are you always trying to be an apologist? Like, at that point, he didn't work for them. He was still going to school and stuff. But this is what you do.
You see he got up here, social activist and community organizer.
Never did nothing in the community, bro. Straight fraud. All these people are just scammers, yo. Like, they got him a spot. Like, for this money, there's nothing you could say to somebody like this to do what's right. They're not doing what's right. They're doing what's keeping their back. Look at him. Like, to him, he feel like he think he dignified. He look like somebody that's doing something. You're just a bootlicker. You're just another Negro in their system oppressing your own people. But these are the people that are given platforms, are paid, and are put in these places to steal from the people. I mean, yeah, I know Doso.
Mm-hmm.
You just like the rest of them.
And let me go back. And that's pretty much it, just to show, just like in what we just read, they create these laws and policies to demonize us, and they put these people in these places to help us with housing. They fail at their job. They don't get held accountable, but we, the people, suffer. We the one who have to deal with the high rent. We the one who have to deal with getting poor housing conditions. Just this week, I had to write, because I'm, again, dealing with these government agencies. This caseworker denied this mother, she went to go get help for security, and she's going to deny the mother because she said she had previously had assistance before within a time period. But when I researched and looked at the law, it says that request for security deposit is excluded from that law. Like, you can't hold that against her. But because the mother didn't know any better, and because the caseworker knew she could just tell this mother anything and get her out of her face and don't have to deal with it. But then there's people like me that knows better, that are able to help these individuals. So again, like the chairman said, we need to come together and build our own institutions and organize and educate the people, because that's the only way we're going to find ourselves out of this mess. These people are not here to help us. They're here to get paid and go about their business. And that's the end of my report. And before we close out, we still need support. So if you can help, please donate or contribute time, whatever you can do, to our weekly summer camp. It's still going on. And we also looking to get some funds for this mother who needs help with rental arrears. So if anybody out there that wants to help, please hit me up. The floor is open. Please, if you have anything to say or share, the floor is open.
Hey, is Antoine here?
Let me see. I don't see an Antoine. I see Rod, Love, Carly, Glenn.
Nah, I think it's a 732 number that just came in.
Yep, it says Antoine.
Hey, Antoine, can you come on? Can you talk, or you can't talk right now?
Hey, everybody. Thank you for having me in. Just enjoy learning about the work you're doing, and I would love to learn a little more about the summer camp. Thank you, Chairman, for having me in.
No, bro. Man, you in. We talking. Remember we was having a conversation. I said we're going to finish it. We're going to have it here.
Oh, I didn't think we was going to have a conversation here, but go ahead.
Yeah. We're going to have a conversation here. You say you got somewhere to go real quick, like 5-10 minutes.
No, I got 5-10 minutes. Go ahead.
My God. Give me a second. Hey, General Secretary. I want to go back. You got out of there already, right? Yeah, I want to go back. I want to show Antoine. I'm saying your name, right? How you say your first name, man?
Hey, you sound a little far.
What up? I still sound far?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
You sound very far.
Because I'm, my bad, I'm here. Hold on a second.
Okay, I hear you better now.
All right. So let me see this. Let me see. Right here. Now, because you came in towards the ending. So I want to show you, because we had a conversation. The conversation we was talking about was about the lieutenant governor, remember?
Yep.
Yeah, and I basically said, like, trying to put another Uncle Tom in basically ain't going to do nothing to serve the people. And you basically said, so, like, what do we do if we're not going to participate in that system? Right?
Yeah, my position is that I understand that the system is never working for us completely. And I understand that ultimately we need a change. However, I think we need to constantly do two things at one time. We need to accept where we're at and also come up with a plan for the future. What I'm saying is at the very moment there's an election happening, elections are not going anywhere. And they ain't going anywhere time soon. And so if we do not participate, then what happens to us? Decisions are just constantly made without a decision, and they're not abstract. They're going to impact us on a daily basis, from healthcare to economics, etc. And what I'm saying is I think it's easy to tell people not to participate, but what do you do when the non-participating has an impact on their life? And we're seeing that every single day. So that's the point I was raising.
All power to the people. And there's no problem with that. As Panthers, we believe in ideological struggle. I mean, we should be able to have these conversations without being disrespectful. I mean, so that's what I'm going to try to do. But
okay.
Before you came, we did a presentation. We listened to half of chapter 3 of the Philadelphia Negro, and we was talking about how, from what Du Bois was writing in the Philadelphia Negro, how he saw agency, how basically we had to wait for the Quakers to be able to liberate ourselves.
You had to what from the Quakers, you said?
We had to wait for the Quakers. Like we was
Okay.
the Quakers were the one that were pushing for legislation and organizing for liberation. Basically, that's from what was reading. Because he went back in the history of the Negro in Philadelphia. Because he said to understand the Philadelphia Negro, you had to go back and you had to understand history and understand the world around them, the material conditions around them, to really understand them. That's what he said in chapter 2. In chapter 3, he went back 100 years or whatever, and he was breaking it down on how the Quakers were the ones that pushed through legislation for us to fight, like lead to us liberation, whatever, to free black people. Like our agency was coming through the Quakers, and I had a problem with that. And I was saying, yo, why do we have to wait for somebody else to liberate us? Why do we have to wait for the Quakers to put in laws in the society that they controlled for them to liberate us? And I was saying that's not how imperialism worked. I mean, while I was listening to it, I had a conversation about it, and I was saying that's not how imperialism worked. They will never free us. They have never freed us. And in fact, before the black people, when the Quakers first got there, it was Native Americans that were on that land. And when they came in there, they killed them, they bought off the sellouts, they paid the sellouts off for them to take the land and then take the surrounding lands around there. So, and how did it turn out for the Native Americans? So waiting for them, for the Quakers or any religious group, any political group, anybody to come liberate us, we would never get liberated. That was the conversation that we had today. So, but before I started all of that, I went to what we do. Like right here, what you're looking at right here, you see the screen?
No, I'm on the phone.
Oh, man, my bad. So like, nah, cause we on the app, so like you could see the video. So I just put on the video of one of our comrades in Plainfield, and we're holding our own monthly council meetings, not with the city, not with the state, not with a nonprofit. This is the Panthers. And every month the people come out and they talk to us about the issues that they're having in the community, and we solve those issues, or we work on solving them. But we haven't seen the issue yet that is impossible to solve. Yo, you will be surprised what most people come out and ask for. They want their community clean. They're looking for stuff like access to driver's licenses, like help to pay their rent. All these things, we can come together as a community and be able to assist our community. So we've been having those meetings. Then what's the next one we went to? We went to the food program. The food program that we have, where we go out to the community and we give the food to the people that's starving. All they got to do is just reach out to us, text us, and we'll bring them a whole box of groceries. I mean, they don't have to come out. They don't have to do nothing. But the reason why we're doing all of this, including the after-school program, the summer camps, everything that we're doing, is to get to the people. To get to the people, to organize the people, to give them political education, to get them to understand that we can't change this system. It is their system. The only way we change this system or change our reality is to build institutions like schools, economic institutions that will serve our people in our communities. And that's what we do. That's the other option. Instead of going to go vote for Ras Baraka, and then we watch Ras Baraka turn the city from Chocolate City to whatever it is now. Black people are not the majority in Newark, New Jersey no more. In the schools, the children are reading and doing math at a 5 and 6% proficiency. You go up to the middle schools, it's like 20% for proficiency. It doesn't matter what politician you put in position of power, they have never changed the material conditions in our community. If we want to change the material conditions in our community, we must start to build those institutions by accepting we are on the plantation and using the resources that we get from the plantation to start to build institutions for the next generation. That's our only mandate. That's what we're speaking about. That's what we're talking about here. And it's the same thing that I wanted to say to you when we was talking. That is the only way we change our condition. No amount of voting, no supporting of either party, no nothing. No politician is going to make imperialism relinquish power that they have. They never will, and it will never happen. There's no test case study where the people said, where the people took over power. And the oligarchs and the rich people didn't maintain power. It has never happened in the history of the world. The people have never held power anywhere. And the only way for the people to be free is start to build their institutions. That's what I was saying.
Okay, number one, I think your point about the Quakers and W.E. Du Bois is not where my position relies. My position is not to put liberation in the hands of other people. That's never what I'm saying. My point is that there's a current system that exists, and we can't act like that system doesn't have a direct impact on our lives. And while we are building our institutions and we're coming up with the game plan of what we want to do collectively, and that looks differently, right? Some people are saying build institutions in America. Some people are saying go back to Africa. It's always looked different. But my point is just saying that that to neglect the current system that exists, it has a direct impact on our lives. And we've seen what state violence does. Number one, as black folks, we are always subject to every violence that happens in America. But my point is just saying it can always get worse. And what we're seeing right now is a prime example of that, right? That at any given moment now, at least folks had an opportunity for basic health care, basic unemployment that you've been paying in your Social Security. You've been working your whole life, and you got that. Those things are being taken away. And when those things are getting taken away, the suffering happens more. And my point is just saying it's not that we're relying on these systems, and these systems are providing us liberation. But at the same time, I think we have to find ways to meet the suffering of our people and to build institutions and to solve some of those systemic economic issues are going to take time. It's always going to take time. And so my point is just bringing up is that I think we have always been building our institutions. We've always been trying to find ways to buy land and build our own communities. But every time we've done that, there's always been deals that have been cut to either take land from us, to compromise our institutions, to compromise our leaders, to create division, or when they can't even do that, they'll blow it up. And so my point is just saying we're never in a good solution. There's never a good solution for black people in America. I believe we have to be doing everything all at once. And part of that everything all at once is also participating in this system, in this electoral system. And I'm not saying that we buy into the rhetoric where democracy and we're going to create a better life. But my position is, how do we alleviate the suffering that's always upon our people? And for me, we have to do everything about that.
I got you. I understand. I didn't want to cut you off while you were speaking. That's why.
I got you.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut you off. I'm listening to you. But we have, as black people, like I'm just speaking for black people now. As black people, we have no institution that's black. When I say we, that works for all black people, that black people belong to, that function and teaches the liberation of black people, we have no such institution that we all belong to. There is none. But I could name countless politicians, because that's always a conversation. Like, we have to participate. We have to work on all sides. We've only been working on one side, the imperialist side. There is no organizing amongst our community. What I mean by organizing, we all eat from it. We're all part of it. We're all donating. We're all board members, chairman. I'm talking about as a collective. That work has never been done. When we read in Du Bois, you can hear from what Du Bois is saying and what intellectuals have always said. Our liberation is going to come from this government, that we have to get policies. We have to get them to pass laws. This is what they push our people towards. They do not push our people through organizing to build our own separate institutions. They have never done that. We have never done that as a collective. No, there's no intellectual, no black intellectual right now that is saying that. And everybody's always saying we have to do both sides. There's no revolutionary side. What is the organization that all black people belong to that works to serve black people? Because we've been doing it. I was listening. You say we've been doing it. We've been working. We've been doing this. There is no organization, not even one, not one organization that in place to serve black people. I mean, if you know one, I want you to let me know. Because cut me off right now. Tell me that
okay.
Black. Yeah, what's the institution?
Well, then that means that you frowning on your own institution. Don't you have an institution? Isn't the Black Panther Party an institution? So what are you saying? Your institution is not serving black people?
Do you belong?
You're compromised?
Do you belong to my institution? Do you belong to our organization?
All right, well, brother, if that's the case, then you're not living in reality, because all black people will never belong to all one
you a Democrat? You a Democrat?
I'm a registered Democrat, yes.
You're a registered Democrat, right? A lot of black people are registered Democrats, right? One organization that as many black people are affiliated with, all right? Like me, we're doing this organization from the ground up, and we're trying to build it up. We want it to be that. We want it to be that organization that every black person can be part of. But that we are not there. And this is just us. And it's not a one-person thing. It is a movement thing. That's why we're trying to go from community to community. We started out in Newark. Then we made it the Panthers of New Jersey, where we're in different communities in New Jersey. And we even have a chapter now in the Dominican Republic. Like, we are trying to grow. But I am saying, in all the years that we've been on these shores, it's 2025. What organization works for the benefit of our people here? And there's not one. There's not. Yes, I'm doing the work. But don't nobody know Africa, man, when you get out of here. Don't nobody know Africa around the country, around the world. Like, people know, like, who? Like, let's say who? Who's an intellectual that anybody? Like Cornel West. If Cornel, like people know these kind of people, like Black Lives Matter, that they put all that money into. People know all those things because white money is behind it to push it. And people will flock to it because people are looking for this. They're looking for liberation. But all those spaces that money fund, they're there to distract them and turn them right back into white supremacy, to get them to go vote for people. They're not telling them to pull their resources together to build schools in their community, separate from the public schools. Separate. I'm not talking about getting a charter school, you're teaching the same curriculum, doing the same thing as the public school is doing, and you're talking about you got a black school. No, a school that teaches that imperialism is the problem, capitalism is the problem. All the precedents the United States of America ever had were racist, even the black one. They all worked against our community, against our people. They bombed our African countries. This is the kind of education that I'm talking about. That says gentrification is not a crisis, but it's made. It's made and it's put in place by politicians that write laws that enable these things to happen. That don't use the police to go attack these slumlords. That's charging people $2,500, $2,000, $1,500 for them to live a month, for them to have a place to stay, and then have jobs that's only paying them $15, $16, $17, $20. You got to work 3, 4 jobs to be able to survive. Where are the politicians using the police and the government to go take those people down? Or companies that's hiring illegal immigrants that come in to depress wages? First, the politicians support the military in bombing their countries and overthrowing their leaders and stealing their natural resources, then allows them into America to take jobs, to have jobs where they pay them $5, $6, $7, jobs that will go to a resident. They will be making $25, $30 to be able to afford this exorbitant rents here. Those jobs don't go to residents. Those jobs, those factory jobs, those construction jobs that people act don't exist. We see them everywhere around us in Newark. We see them here. We see people working there. We see them running from ICE agents. These are jobs that are supposed to go to the residents here, but because of economics, they allow those corporations to do that. And when the corporations do that, what you think happened to the residents? They don't have a job. They can't pay rent. They got to work 3, 4, 5 jobs to be able to survive. Those are the real criminals. Those are the people that are making people's reality unbearable, causing suicide. And those people are not addressed. And I'm saying,
those people are the donors of the politicians.
All power to the people. And I'm saying, yo, we are on the plantation. Like you saying, we have to do both. Yeah, we on the plantation. Yeah, we work at the schools. Yeah, we work in the police department. Yeah, we work in the corporations. Yeah, we politicians. But when we get off, when we go home, we're working on the Underground Railroad. They're not doing that. They're not doing both. Ras Baraka is not working at City Hall, then is going home and working on the Underground Railroad and is doing both. None of these politicians are doing that. There can be only one. And if you read the Black Jacobins, they tell you in there, in the Black Jacobins, there's a part in there where it tells you, you can't do both. You can't serve both masters. It's either you're going to fight for liberation or you're going to work with imperialism. You're going to work in their institutions. And then black skin, white mask. I mean, Fanon says, yo, if you work in the institution, you have no choice but to be white. To be them, to be a capitalist, to believe in capitalism, to do the bidding of capitalism, and justify it. I mean, so I'm saying in final, the only way to liberate ourselves is to build our institutions. Yes, we know we're on the plantation. That don't need to be said. We have to go to work on the plantation. That's all these jobs. But we must build our own institutions, and that's what we're here to do. That's what all the work we're doing, this conversation we having, the social media conversation, everything we do in our life, from when we wake up till we go to sleep, is towards that effort. But don't nobody know us, Antoine. Nobody know who the hell we are. I mean, we don't have that platform to get it out there. I mean, so like when you say I am doing the work, yes, we are not compromised, but I'm not full of myself to think like I'm leading the. Right now, I'm the #1 revolutionary out here. Like I'm leading. Nah, we're a little small organization trying to get the word out. I'm trying to recruit you. You come in, and that's what I'm talking about. So right now we're in Newark, New Jersey. So how do you stop gentrification? Antoine, you, me, the rest of us in the organization got to pull our money from wherever jobs we have, and we come in equally, and we start buying homes out here together. Not one person come in and buy the home. You see, I'm not saying like we all got to be poor. We out here just protesting all day. No, I'm saying we use our resources, not just here. I think you're from Haiti, if I'm not correct. You from Haiti?
My family is from.
Yo, what? Yeah, if your family from Haiti, you from Haiti. I'm talking about we building institutions there. And we got a comrade in DR. He thought he was he thought he was getting deported. I mean, because he deported his family. So he texted me. I'm like, bruh, if they deport you to Haiti, everything that we doing in DR, we gonna do in Haiti. Shit, I'll be happier to do it in Haiti. We could build businesses there. Yo, we have resources here that we could get to be able to build there, to build all over the world. But if we're not organized, if we're not working together, and we're constantly talking about this council person, this mayor, this president supporting these people, and we're not focusing on us making this stuff happen, it ain't never going to happen. Because I don't know how to do real estate. I mean, like, I don't know how to do real estate, but you know how to do stuff that I don't know how to do. And you coming and being part of what we're doing, yo, that makes us larger. Man, there's so much possibilities. I mean, but we never tap into that. And this, we can't have this conversation on Facebook. I can't get this information out. Sometimes the conversation is twisted all up in translation. Like you probably don't understand what I'm saying, and you think I'm being disrespectful. Bruh, like getting people like you to head the organization. Because what are we talking about? We're saying we cannot deal with gentrification the way it is anymore. We can't wait for somebody to come on our homes and we paying them rent. Let's all chip our money together and start to buy up these homes together. We're not selling these homes to no bank. We're not selling it to nobody else. It's going to go to our children. That's the purpose of why we have it. Is our children. We're going to build power. Yo, I told the captain of our organization, I was like, I'm not going to be able to do it in my lifetime. I don't see it. I hope it happens. I don't see it. But, bruh, Antoine, you remember they was talking about nuclear war a couple of weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, these people was talking about going to war with Russia, with Iran, all these people. Yo, what we going to do, Antoine, if they go to war with these people? And they got their nuclear bombs and they're shooting bombs at each other. What shelters do we have to survive? What are we going to do? We just survive at the whim of these people. Yo, I told the captain, she's 21. I told her by the time that she's getting ready to die, we should have bomb shelters and stuff around the world where the party. When she's handing the party off, when her generation is handing the party off, they should have places around the world that our people can go to for refuge. I mean, but all of that, to get to that point, takes people like you, people with influence, people with the mind, because we all don't have the mind. And that's the side of the coin I stay on. Yo, to the day that I die, you will never see me supporting a politician in this system. Because I understand this system is what it is. It's here to maintain power for those with the money, the rich people, the oligarchs. That's what this system is here to do. Period.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no changing it. So we got to build our own system. And I will die fighting to build that system. If I got to go to school to learn sociology, history, all of this shit, I'm going to learn all this stuff to continue to build on my block. Yeah, man, that's why I asked you to come. I hope you come more, and I want you to talk. I want you to bring issues that you want to talk about. I want you to host the podcast so it don't have to be Africa up here all day talking. I mean, I want you to talk about stuff that's going on in your community. That's what this space is for. You're always welcome here. I mean, I wanted to say that to you, man.
Yeah, brother. Number one, I'm gonna go over. I know I gave you. I was trying not to cut you off, but number one, of course, I never interpret anything you say as disrespectful. I mean, we've been physically with each other on a couple of occasions, and I just know you passionate, I'm passionate, and so I try not to interpret what people are saying automatically as disrespectful. But I believe that we can have good debate without it being hostile. So I think that's where, so never have to worry about that. And number two, the other piece about it is I think, and again, I just want to say this for the record, Black people were always in a difficult situation in America. We are oppressed people fighting for our dignity, our freedom, and our liberation every single day, and it comes with very difficult decisions. And it's not where we're just fighting. We're fighting up against systems, and we're fighting up against a state that's actively targeting, studying, and working to undermine all of our efforts. Prime example, I said let's do both. The reason why I said do both, and you said name an institution, I named yours because that's what you said that's what you're doing. But at the same time, you said we're not where we need to be, and I think there's a lot of other organizations that are doing very similar work. As you know, if you do this work for Black people, sometimes you got to do it under the cover because it's easy for people to target you once you pop your head out. I know a few Black organizations that don't want to be in the public, but they move silently, they develop, they train, and they push, but they push behind the scenes. But the other point about it is you said name another organization. That brings me back to Marcus Garvey. The UNIA. Marcus Garvey had his own organization, right? He was talking about all types of methodologies on how to get people free, even leaving America, right? But what happened?
Hold on. But before you go too far, it was their organization. No. I said, like, when I said to come in here, like Marcus Garvey come in, like they'll get a starship, the ship that they used to do whatever they do, go back and forth. That ship didn't belong to me, you, any of us. That belonged to Marcus Garvey and the people that were in charge. He was a capitalist too. When I say we, our organization, I mean everything we have belonged to everybody. That ship, that home, like you got Farrakhan. Farrakhan live on a mansion. That mansion don't belong to all Muslims. All Muslims can't go in there and live there. That's his mansion. I'm talking about this a whole new different way of thinking. Nothing belongs to Africa. Nothing belongs to us. Everything belongs to the organization. Whatever we have belongs to everybody. We have never done that. I don't know any organization that has ever pushed that. I mean, when I say we all pitching our money to have the school, I mean we all pitching our money to have the school. It's not like Dr. Umar, he trying to say I'm getting a Dr. Umar school. No, it's a people's school. Africa don't make the decisions. Africa don't decide the curriculum. I mean, this has nothing to do with Africa. We come up, we vote. Guess what? We'll have a vote and say, like, you know what? What did you go to school for? What did you go to school for?
I went to school. You talk about I went to school for a couple of things. I mean, I went to school for law and justice studies.
Pause. No, that's good. Law and justice studies. So we have issues on law. So like, why would Africa be doing issues on law? I don't know nothing about law. The person that will be in charge of that will be people like you that know what they're doing in law. Like, that's what I mean by it's owned by the whole community. It's not just owned by
Africa. But Africa, this is where I'm having a hard time understanding you.
Mm-hmm.
It's because we are, and again, I'm trying to thread this line by not saying this is who we are, but this is our history. We are an oppressed group of people who are fighting for our lives. There's not one thing that you can do in this America without going through an institution. You want to buy land, you got to register it. You want to create something, you got to have some code. You want to funnel money. Let me finish. You want to move money. You can't move money anywhere without somebody in the middle brokering that transaction, whether it's digital or whether it's in person. You wanna own something, you have to have a legal document that has to involve the courts in some way, shape, or form. My point is saying, is it really practical to do everything for black people by bypassing the system? And
But
it's not.
no, you are you are on the plantation. That's why I keep saying that. When I keep saying you're on the plantation, everything you just described is the plantation. I'm not talking about we all picking cotton, down by the river. I'm not talking about that. Yo, schools, wherever you work at, anything you do in this, on their system, in their institutions, it's the plantation. So look,
but my point is just saying,
we can't get a house. We can't get a house together.
How can you criticize someone like Marcus Garvey when he's doing the same thing in a plantation?
No. Can we get a house together? Can you and I get a house together? If we both got the money, can we? But
we're gonna have to go. We're still gonna have to go through the system.
No, that's the plantation. You're on the plantation. You have to go through it. You can't leave the plantation. You are here. You are on the space. This is what we live in, a socio-economic world. You have to participate by the rules that they have there. But you can build inside that. Well, what's the word I want to use? Inside whatever. You can also build it. We can get a house together where we are never homeless. We don't now. If you and I, me, you, and like 6 other people, 10 other people, whatever we buy these 3-4 family buildings. We're never homeless. I don't care what they do. I don't care what politicians come in and try. Yo,
yeah, right? Africa. I'm agreeing with you that we can do it. But but you're missing the point that I'm saying, that even if we do it, we can still have state. Look at Philadelphia. You just talked about Philadelphia. They threw a bomb on the house that they owned. That's still possible.
Listen.
What did Fannie Lou Hamer say? Fannie Lou Hamer said she was against all black people living in one state because she knew this country had the capability of blowing up a state with all black people.
Yo, I love this conversation.
To not acknowledge that, I just don't think we're doing ourselves a service.
Got you. So now, see, we're gonna walk down that path. We're doing this. We're going through the process. It's cool. And I'm loving this conversation. These are conversations that should be had on TV, on MSNBC, CNN. This is what they should really be talking about. Like having this ideological struggle. Now, the first book we read when we started was the Red Book. Was the Red Book the first one? I think the Red Book was the first book we read. And when we read the Red Book, don't make me forget my point that I was making. Don't make me forget my point. Damn, what did you just say, Antoine? I just forgot my point.
The point I was just trying to make is I agree with you.
I got it. Move. We were talking about move in Philly. Yeah, we were talking about move. The first book we read was the Red Book. We went through and read the whole book, and he was talking about everything that we're dealing with now. They were dealing with in China, and how to survive in China when imperialism came in and controlled the whole country. And he was saying the first thing we have to deal with is to organize ourselves. That contradiction is always going to be there. They're always going to want to come blow us up. They're always going to want to flood us out, burn our communities out, because that is who they are. They're going to come. But if we don't have our schools built to teach our children, for them to understand what is coming, for them to be prepared, we are never going to liberate ourselves. So while we live here, and you brought up move, the whole community, if the whole community, the thousands of black people that lived in Philly came to that community, they wouldn't have bombed that community. They would not.
Africa, back up from the speaker. I can't. You're muffling.
How about now?
No, closer.
How about now?
All right, perfect. Go ahead. Now say what you're saying again.
Yo, if the people in Philadelphia were organized, when that black mayor came in for them to bomb move in Philly, if all the black people showed up, they wouldn't have bombed them. They couldn't have bombed them. They don't have enough manpower to deal with all the people out there. But the people are not organized. There's no institutions in every single community teaching them where they are. You know what they got in every community? Public schools that's telling them that they're Americans. And you have a little small group a little small group of people that's trying to fight for their liberation by themselves. Fight, you cannot win that way. You need all the people for you to be able to fight back. And all of it starts with building your own institutions. It doesn't start with going to go vote for anybody, going to enter these institutions. That's not where it starts from. That's not what Mao said. Mao said the first step starts with organizing your people and having them politically educated. We're not doing that nowhere in our communities. That is not our target point as a people. The leaders of our communities are not teaching that. All they're always coming out and persuading the people to do is go to vote. Go to vote. Go to support this person. Go to support this person. Never organizing the community to start to invest their money in buying up the community for real, for real. Not one person coming in, you say a shack coming and buy a building, Queen Latifah buy a building here, this person come. I'm not talking about that. Next year we're planning to start having properties in our communities that's owned cooperatively. I'm inviting you. I'm inviting you to join this endeavor because this is the people's, it belongs to us. So now instead of me paying my $2,500 rent to somebody that lives in New York, some corporation I don't know, I'm paying that rent to us. So like, how much should we pay each other for rent? We make that decision. We pay that. I pay that rent to our organization. That rent goes into our bank account. We own one house, two houses, three. We start to build. Then our children don't have to go nowhere begging for nothing. They don't have to feel like they have to sell their soul to have access to anything. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not coming. Believe you, bro. I'm nobody. You know how many times I got to go to court? They say I'm a threat to dignitaries. They got me under surveillance. Antoine, you heard me? No, I got the paperwork. I went to court, and they said they got me under surveillance. I am a threat to dignitaries. I know what lies they're going to make up about you. I know what they're going to say. I've been locked up already. They grabbed me and locked me up just because I'm asking about people being homeless, just so they could quiet me up. I had so many charges, like they just went away because the charges were so frivolous, they don't even carry them out to court. They just throw them away. I mean, they just like let them go. I know these people are going to come at you. I know this government is going to come at you. But that's not no excuse for us to give up, for us to tap out. And I'm not saying you're saying that. I mean, because all you're stating is what's going to happen. They're coming. They will kill you. They are coming. But we have to make a decision for ourselves. What are we going to do? Are we going to just be like, oh, we're scared, I don't want to do nothing because I'm not going to be able to eat? Or are we going to start to build that infrastructure where we can eat, where our children don't have to be afraid? Like I said earlier, I don't think I'm going to be able to build those bomb shelters because I know these savages are going to start blowing themselves up. I see where this is going. These sociopaths don't give a damn about life. They don't care about none of us. So they could start blowing up stuff. How are we going to survive? We have nothing in place. We don't even have these conversations. I mean, I'm telling you, as a sociologist, and I study, I read. This world is about to go to shit. We're in trouble. We're living in dangerous times right now because the people that are in power are ignorant. They're fools. Like Trump is a freaking idiot. He's a buffoon. You wake up one day and that boy done pressed a button and did something that we had no control over. I'm telling you, these people are stupid. It's like, I'm not saying they're stupid like they're just normal stupid. They just don't know. They don't know what their ancestors had to go through to get this amount of power that they have. You see, they're naive. Trump don't know. He don't understand. He don't understand the deals, the blood that had to be shed for people to have stuff like the White House, the presidency, to control the economy all around the world. He doesn't understand none of this shit. He's an idiot. So he could just fumble and just do something stupid and just get all of us blown up. And what are we going to do? How do we survive? That's all I care about. And when I say we, I'm talking about the masses of the people that have no access to power. You could be black, white, Puerto Rican, Haitian, whatever you want to be. We have no access to power. The people that have access to power are the oligarchs, the rich. They control everything. They decide how much gas costs, who could breathe clean air. They decide everything. Who's going to be the president? until we organize and build our schools to teach our children, like our children don't go to their schools no more. We can say like we have schools in our community. That's when you started a revolution.
Yeah.
That's when you started a revolution. But go ahead.
So I think where we agree is that our communities need to be better organized. And for me, I think, but the more you organize your community, the more power you're building. And the more power you're building, people power, the more you become a threat. And so I think about Larry Hoover, and, you know, whether you agree or disagree how he was moving, the reality, he was pivoting into getting more involved in the political arena. And for folks, they love when you're doing your thing, but now you start to move, you organizing your people, and you starting to get political, and you're going to try to take over systems. That was one of the reasons why I believe they had to arrest him, because he was organizing the gangs, organizing solidarity amongst each other. He was the one keeping the peace, and then eventually, because he was going to basically take over the political systems, so they had to get rid of him. We've seen that strategy for a whole lot of people. My point is just saying, where we agree, I believe we need to organize our people. But when you have the power, I think you have to figure out what you do with that power. And my point is saying, you see that at every single moment. I feel like there's this thread with leaders organizing their people, and then eventually they realize we can't just leave this political system hanging. We've seen that with Malcolm X. We've seen that with Martin Luther King. We've seen that with the Black Panthers. Like, there's always this moment of realization that we have to affect this political system, even though we're not going to take away from our larger goals, because all of them had long-term goals of buying land, moving out, creating systems, a sustainable system amongst each other. But the common theme that I'm also saying is, no matter what the hell we do, we have to acknowledge there's always going to be black sellouts. There's always going to be I won't even call them bourgeoisie, because we do have a black bourgeoisie, but we also have a fake black bourgeoisie. It's people who feel that they've made it, and they work against our interests. And that's, for me, that's still part of white supremacy. So when you bring up Ras Baraka, I might like Ras Baraka, but I don't see Ras Baraka as the savior. I don't see Ras Baraka as the Black Moses. I see Ras Baraka as a person that can be utilized on an interest in my community. I don't see any black person as that. I've been through that as a long time ago as a political, coming up and being infatuated with a person thinking they're going to lead us to a promised land. I learned that lesson a long time ago. I'm not there no more. But what I'm saying is, just because you don't like somebody don't mean that you don't acknowledge the power that they have. And that's the school that I come from. I ain't got to like you to acknowledge how much power you have, and where I could agree with you on some things and where I could disagree with you on other things. Because as black people, we will never, ever be in agreement 100% of the time. Matter of fact, we won't even like each other, even if we agree on the things. And we always have to figure out, how do we find common ground? Because what the system wants to do is to constantly have us at war with each other, both verbally, physically, and never working together, while they always work together. They have issues with it. Jeff Bezos got issues with Elon Musk, but they work together. They're always finding ways to work together. So for me,
they work for the same system.
Let him finish.
And my point is saying, and if we work for the same, and if we're working for our community, then we got to find ways to bridge that gap in the midst of our own disagreements and dislike for each other. And if we don't, then we can't really talk about black power.
All power to the people. Hey, General Secretary, just before you go real quick, but everything you're saying, the reason why we don't think alike, we don't think monolithically, all of that is because from day one, we send our children to their institutions. And until we build those institutions where we could have our children thinking alike, thinking monolithically, we can't even do nothing against these people. Hey, General Secretary, what you want to say?
Yes, I like to say, because we hear this a lot about, even if we don't like somebody, doesn't mean we have to disagree or we can disagree. None of this stuff is personal, okay? We are an organization, and we deal with things scientifically. We do our research. Just like the chairman, every show we start, the first duty of a revolutionary is to be educated. So nothing we're doing is based on feelings, emotion, if we like this person, like that person. No. Everything we're talking about is how to deal with the systems that's oppressing us. And we cannot fight a system and at the same time join that system or progress that system, promote that system, or promote anybody within that system that wants that system to continue. That defies revolution. The meaning of revolution is to bring about change, to change the status quo, because the status quo does not work for the people. It has never worked for the people. Capitalism, imperialism, those that survive in those systems, that thrive in those systems, is because it works for them, which is the elite class, the wealthy class, the donor class, the politicians, the corporations. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos can hate each other, but they profit and benefit from within that same system. That's why they're able to work with each other to oppress the people. The same thing with the politicians. The reason why the Democrats didn't release the Epstein files is the same reason why the Republicans didn't release the Epstein files. The same reason why the Republicans support Israel is the same reason why the Democrats support Israel. The same reason why they got the black President Obama to kill Gaddafi, a black African president, or got the black man to blow up all these African countries. Because, again, they all work for the same system. So, no, us as an organization cannot work with somebody like Rod Baraka, because he works for that system that is trying to get rid of us, people like us, and the masses. And that's what I got to say about that.
Yeah, but look, but that's not.
I gotta ask a question.
Let me tell you this question before you ask your question. A little bit more clarity. The general secretary is the one that helps people with housing. So when people have their housing issue, she's the one that get the documents, to read through the documents, to go to court with them. She's the one that sees the landlord doubling the rents. And she's the one that send it down to City Hall, send it to the mayor, send it to all of them, asking these people to address this. She's the one that has to go deal with, what's her name? The one that worked with the lawyer, what's her name? From the Green Party?
Diane Moxley.
She's the one that has to deal with Diane Moxley and go down and see how all these people are corrupt. From City Hall all the way down to legal aid. They're all in cahoots to throw these people into the streets. So once you see that, you can't say, I'm going to go cut a deal with this guy to get funding for after school program, when you know he's literally throwing people into the streets. And when you send them the email, they send those same emails, and those same people that you put in the email, they send that right to the landlord, and the landlord get their lawyers from New York, and they kick them people out the building. Like we see it. So it's not. So it's not like we don't like him. We don't like the way he look. No, nobody care about that. Like, ain't nobody got time for that that mess. But go ahead, brother.
No. So I'm again. I just need some clarification. So let me ask this question then. So philosophically, if anyone is in the position of an elected or appointed position in government, that you don't work with them.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, again,
I'm asking.
like Karen said, we're all on the plantation. There are those who work in those institutions that help build the Underground Railroad.
Let me give them an
And
example.
then there are those that
Patience.
don't.
Let me give an example. Hey yo, every quarter, every few months, we get a donation. I'm gonna say it again. Like they might cut the money, but hey, I'm gonna say it. You're the person that run the Newark Teachers Union, one of the people that run it, because they've been seeing the work we do in the community for the last 15 years. Every 2-3 months, they give a donation to what we doing. They cut a check for a couple of dollars for what we doing. You know, they still teachers. We still talk about the teachers union. We still talk about how the schools didn't educate. I've been talking about that the whole 2 hours we've been on here, talking about how the schools been failing our children. But that doesn't mean like you can't help to build the institutions. Like let's say Ras Baraka, you got to do gentrification. Yo, you work for these people. If you don't do what they want you to do, they're gonna kill you or they're gonna put somebody else there to do it. Yo, we understand that. But while you're working at your day job, you're making sure you're building the institutions for the future generations to be able to fight this fight. That's not what he's doing. What he is doing is getting all this fake activist group, sending them money for them to go out there and have rallies to support him, to make the people think like he's doing something. And I've been in those meetings. I was in the meeting where they had all the people. I could name them. The names of the people in the city of Newark that call themselves activists. They are sitting in the room and telling me I cannot critique the mayor. I can't talk about the things that he's doing wrong, or they're all going to come against me and they're going to label me a sellout, whatever they're going to label me. I told them to go to hell. I swear to God, I named the names. You could ask them. They were all in that room. I told them if he do some bullshit, I'm calling him out on it. And I wasn't in that circle of people that get funding. So go look at the funding of the people that get funding in the city to call themselves activists, revolutionaries, to go do little circles. They put a little incense out there talking about Naram Yange, and like people still getting shot tomorrow. Those people are here.
Okay, I got what you're saying. So yeah, that's the reason I was asking a question. So basically, you're saying it's case by case.
No, it's what you call it? It's revolutionary by revolutionary. Like yo, you could be working over there. Yo, we all on the plantation, no matter what job you do, you're part of this institutions. You're part of this shit. I mean, but if you're leaving your job and then you leave and then at night you over there organizing to build institutions to liberate your people, yo, that's exactly what they did on the plantation. People worked in the field, in the house. I mean, doing all that shit, wiping massive butt. But when they were done, like Nat Turner, like all Denmark Vesey, all these people that had the slave rebellions, they worked on the plantation, and then when they left the plantation, they organized for revolution. If you're doing that, I don't care if you become Obama. I don't care if you're Obama. You out there bombing all these countries because, yo, man, this is the world we live in. Somebody got to be there. But you can't just...
So
go ahead.
So Africa, then that brings it back to my point.
Uh-huh.
If you're saying that we're all on a plantation.
Yes.
And it depends if you, after you're doing your quote-unquote work, you're supporting the movements, you're funding, you're helping build the Underground Railroad, you're educating, then that means it's, like you put it, revolution to revolution. My point is saying, then why can't, for example, pick leaders to run for office temporary? I'm not saying as the solution. That's not a liberating model. I'm not saying for liberation. I'm saying so that you can have your people within. Hold on, let me finish. So you can have your people within the system that is working on the plantation, and then when they're not on the system, they're still helping you out, funneling resources, helping with education, XYZ, while you still work on your long-term agenda, building the institution and also helping your people.
All right, Don, that's a great question. Hey, yo, tomorrow is Monday. Y'all don't even know where I'm going to get gas from to drive around the whole city to pick up the... No.
Africa, you sound like a politician now.
No.
I said that jokingly.
No. I'm talking about real talk. Yo, we got to struggle to pay rent here. Yo, tomorrow I got to go pick up all the children. I got to put gas in the car. We got to feed them breakfast and lunch. And then I got to take them all home. Then I still got to feed my family. We still got... Yo, if I don't have any time to go out to go organize to put nobody into political office. Yo,
Or the money. We don't have the money.
Or the resources. I don't even have the time. Yo, the most important thing right now, the number one foundational thing is building those institutions. That is where all my energy, I believe all our focus should be on. Not it's a lot of work. I worked on campaign. I worked on Ras Baraka. I think it was his first or second campaign. I worked on it. I was on the campaign. That shit is a lot of work. You know how much work Ras Baraka got to do to be the mayor, for these people to be council people? I was there. They do their day jobs. Then you got this political stuff you got to go do. You got all this place. I don't have the resources. I don't have the time. I don't have the manpower. As small as our organization is, what all we could do is build a foundation for us to be able to move from there. Maybe if we get powerful enough, if we get like, let's say 5,000, 10,000 strong. If you got 10,000 people in the organization, you could put anybody into office. If you got 15, 20,000 people strong, you could start to think about stuff like that. But right now, we're a small party. We're like 30-some people. I mean, most of them children that are in our organization. We don't have time to go like do a whole thing where we're trying to put somebody into office. But just go ahead.
Right now, if you worried about gas tomorrow, I'm worried about getting $70 for Janai to get that sub license. Like those are things that we're worried about, that we're focused on right now.
Wait, I didn't hear what she said. Is she waiting for a device?
No. There's a young man that's in our organization. He just went to college. He graduated from college and he back home and he looking for work. So we got to give him $70 for him to go get his sub license to be a substitute, because he like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you don't went to college, you don't graduated, you're home, there's really nothing here for you. I mean, they're going all around. We know a whole bunch of them. Like we got to go help them. Huh?
No, I was agreeing with you. Agreeing with you.
So this week we got to get $70 to go get him his sub license. We got to pay for gas.
Actually, his fingerprints. The sub license is later.
Oh, the sub license. Oh, that's just for the fingerprints. But that's.
Yeah, because he got to do his background.
Yeah, he got to do all of that stuff. So that's where our energy is focused on. I wish, bro. When I say I want you to join us, I'm not being facetious. The bigger we are, the bigger we could do all of that stuff. I mean, even if it's just for propaganda's sake, to show that we have the power to do whatever we want to do. I mean, we can do whatever, but you got to be big enough. You got to be strong enough, and it starts from somewhere. And you got to have the political education class so that person understand, when we put you in this office, we're telling you to go do this. Yeah, we know everybody else, all those other councilmen, everybody's going to fight against you. But no, you're going to say this is what you're doing, and the people are going to back you. We're going to have 20,000 people surround City Hall. Let them say no. You could do stuff once you're organized. But once you're not organized, you can't do nothing. You can't do no inside, outside game. There's no organization. You put that motherfucker inside, he go inside and close the door on y'all.
No, I got you, Africa. well, listen.
Yeah.
I gotta preach a sermon, man.
Listen,
man. Honestly, it's been a pleasure building with y'all, man. Thank you again for the invite, man. I told you if you invite me, I'm gonna come. So I'm thankful that you sent me the stuff. And I don't know everybody else in the room, but thank you again for just allowing me to come. Let's continue building. Let's continue fellowshipping. And we might have our disagreements, but let's always focus on where we agree and where we can support each other.
All power to the people. All power to the people.
All right, man. Love you.
Love you.
I'll talk to you a little later.
Love you. Hey, General Secretary, I think that's it for today, man. I think we almost.
Yeah, that's it. But I know that we took up most of the conversation piece. But if anybody wants to chime in, please feel free before we close out.
Nah, we got to go, I think. Do we have to go, or they could chime in?
Well, I got 2 more minutes. But anyway, all right. If there's nothing else, all power to the people. See you next week.
See you next week. Go ahead. You going to end it over there?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.